The Boys Cast. We've been talking about this, doing some things of putting together boys panels of some of the top dogs.
Panels, binders full of boys. We got binders full of boys.
We got a binders full of boys. And we're bringing it. And one of the things that I have always thought was like, when you look at other podcasts, like, you know, we moved here and stuff like that. And I'm kind of, a lot of times, like, you do want to get the comedians on and stuff like that. But there's sometimes just like, what's two guests that we could put together? This episode, we got Kurt Metzger, Cheda Reyna, two big stars that, like, to me, it'll be like, so we brought those guys together. Chase stayed around for the Patreon. Binders full of boys.
Binders full of boys.
Boys panel.
Looks like a fucking yard sale in here, bud.
And it's the first time we did this where we just had like a panel.
Yeah,
so,
it was fun.
Okay. All right. This is the Boys Cast.
The boys. The boys cast. The lads. The bros. It's the boys cast. The homies. It's the boys cast. The dudes. Experience. The boys cast.
Okay, the Boys Cast with the top boys panel.
Yeah.
We have Kurt Metzger from the Amy Schumer Show.
Why do you do that?
Exclusive Reyna, internet sensation from Canada.
Yeah, what's happening? It's happening.
You and Kurt are kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
You've done all the industry stuff, and Shay's a
I've
big internet guy.
Yeah, I've
and
done
you
any.
don't know how the internet.
Well, I envy Shay.
Kurt says,
You thought that, or you have like some?
I am not going to get into why I was told that. It's weird to bring it up.
Doesn't he own like a big chunk of a fucking meditation app or whatever?
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about the meditation."
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
he owns-
listen,
that dude owns a
I'm not-
piece, man.
Listen,
Wait.
not to get too deep into Sam Harris, but I was right what I was telling you.
Yeah.
When we were talking about it yesterday, the seller, I didn't
know.
realize
You
you were saying the
poo-pooed me.
Well, he wasn't saying the meditation stuff. You were saying it's
I-
these
Oh,
big donors.
Ryan wants to see the actual like release the
said-
taxes. He
I said
goes,
it-
where's
yeah.
this all coming from?
Release Sam Harris's taxes.
I feel like Kurt's
I don't
changing
wanna
his
get-
story.
Ryan's going
Listen.
full libtard. Release the taxes.
Listen, I don't want to get full into it because it's not like a thing I'm supposed to spread around about Sam Harris.
Sam Harris doesn't
I
want to
mean,
know
you know
people
what?
don't
I
wanna
think
know
people
that.
could.
Because you
There's
were,
a lot of money. In
Just
calls.
don't give to me
that
details
part
of the
I
story.
agree, but it was more the idea of that's how much subscriber revenue he has, and it just like didn't make sense to
No,
me.
it's all. But okay,
If you're
when I-
saying his meditation company, now that checks out.
when I say subscriber, I mean to all the things.
Fucking a lot of people to give you money.
It changes.
Yeah.
It changes your whole like.
Do you imagine the guy that's like his last $100? He's like, but Sam's gonna be fucked if he doesn't get this.
It's like a Twitch girl. He's like a Twitch girl. Is what I'm saying.
Oh
for sure.
man, I would fucking kill to be a Twitch chick with fat just dance around.
You
in a
can
hot
be,
tub
and
for
we have to
money.
accept it.
I mean, just say you are.
Yeah,
Just
I
fucking-
can.
That's half the battle.
Dude, I don't.
I
Think
came in that way, and I'm still waiting for you guys to compliment my.
Dude, Twitch right now, like 90% of the girls is just, there was the swimming pool era because they were just
Yes.
basically said
The hot tub meta.
That's what happened. They go, you can't just be like walking around within a bikini or whatever, right? And then they go, well, if I have a swimming pool in my living room, then I'm just swimming. So that was the
cat
whole.
and mouse.
So then, legitimately,
Well, also, all the
Me and my buddy did a hot tub stream where we put on bikinis and we streamed real shitty views. Real shitty views. Not a lot of people turned out for that.
the guy that doesn't get the reson why, he was like, you know, on Twitch when it's hot, swimming
then-
pool streams.
We gotta get in bikinis. You gotta get in it.
These
Why is
kids-
no one coming out? No one's showing up.
the people that were really into it. How did you feel about them?
These
Those
kids
are the
these days
diehards.
love swimming. Kids, yo, that's your takeaway? Your kids these days love
They love it.
swimming.
Love
Do you
swimming.
remember, like, I don't know when you guys got to New York, but when they had the 60-40 laws here, when Giuliani first got in, they made it so all the porno shit on 42nd Street and whatever.
Check that out right there.
What?
I joke that it's worth less money because fucking he signed it.
I want to bring it to him and say thank you for your service. But they made a law. It has to, all the porno stores have to be like 40% or 60% not porn. You know, so they all would like have
That's
other
a
products.
hilarious
That was like the
rule.
cleaning up.
It's a
in New York
60-40
stuff.
rule. But the internet, the whole internet is like that. The whole internet is like, they got to have like 40 or 60% porn. Well, fucking Twitter was all, I didn't even know how much of Twitter was porn until
Yeah.
very recently.
So much, yeah.
And I mean like spread out, gaped porn.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
as hardcore as it gets.
While
Yeah.
like
No
all the
rules.
debates about if somebody should talk about mRNA vaccine,
Yeah.
and there's gaping porn the whole time.
They do a good job of keeping it segmented, though. Like
Maybe
you
for
really,
you.
I don't know. I don't really want.
Yeah, she's like, yeah,
Well,
no,
I
you
can't
follow them all.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I think I followed like 2 people at one point, and then you're like, oh, you're on the train, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm at like a Nixon
Really
follow
love to
them.
see chicks get. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, they suggest you post.
Exactly.
Oh, that's insane.
They're suggesting.
Did you
me-
have suggested to you?
I take suggestions off Twitter. I only get my feed, but to have suggestions turned on is nuts.
I didn't know that was a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm very Twitter
No,
novice.
the Instagram, they're getting, because they'll basically be like, well, you can't be nude. And there's just girls with like completely see-through shirts.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that a loophole? That's like us if you're like, yo, you can't say the N-word. And you're like, yeah, but like I rolled the R. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
What if I say it with a French accent?
what if I said, if I'm going to talk about all the vaccine stuff, but I say vaccine instead of vaccine? That's the
Well,
equivalent
that's like
of their see-through
segs.
shirts.
That's like segs. How now on TikTok they just like all the
Segs instead of
Or
sex.
There's a whole second language you learn if
Yeah.
you want to be monetized
yeah.
on
Yeah,
here.
for sure. It's like a whole.
What do you have on your mind? You got something that
What spicy shit we got?
Murder,
Fine.
coronavirus.
Wait, were you gonna trash Trump because you go? Listen, are you guys monetized? Because I'm about to say some shit. This Trump guy's fucking bad news.
Yeah.
Man.
I gotta be honest.
The election was not stolen.
I don't
I don't
think he's
care.
qualified.
Yeah, I don't care what happens in this podcast. I'll say what I have to say.
I want to say support Ukraine. Number one.
Do you know the new conspiracy?
What?
Okay, I don't know if you are.
What does conspiracy mean? Does conspiracy mean a thing that didn't happen? Is that what it means to people?
Conspiracy theory.
I guess this one, it's starting to look like it's true.
What conspiracy?
But you're right. Conspiracy is basically, they made it, you don't want to be a guy that ever thinks anything, right?
There are legal charges called conspiracy.
No,
to
conspiracy
do-
is when a number of people get together and they conspire.
Conspiracy.
So originally,
Yeah.
the
Theories when you
the
can't prove
theories
it.
about a conspiracy.
Yeah, conspiracy
Yes.
theory is when you can't
So
prove
you're
it.
not the one that has the conspiracy. You're saying I'm pretty sure there's a conspiracy.
Exactly.
Why is it I'm supposed to give the benefit of the doubt and not buy a conspiracy theory, but like a Me Too, I'm supposed to go all in?
Yeah, that's
Benefit of the
correct.
doubt
Yeah,
towards
yeah.
the conspiracy. Like,
Yes.
I mean,
it's just inconsistent, is all I'm saying.
it depends on how much you want to get. That's all. That's the sliding scale.
Or the type.
yeah.
That's a type's a big one.
I'm going to tell you flat out. After I got
Types of it.
when I got a full court media press on me a few years back, like
Yeah.
I got more like girls trying to suck my than ever in my life.
Really?
That's the hack.
And I didn't understand why. And my girl at the time, who used to let me do that, she was like, "Yeah, because you're like scandalous." And I was like, "What the
Yo,
fuck?"
Bad boy Kurt.
After Me
I
Too,
never-
you weren't Me Too. They basically said that
No.
you defended a Me Too guy.
I was.
You
no,
were
there was no Me
adjacent.
Too. There was no Me Too. This was before KRS-One invented Me Too.
So what
KRS what?
what were you getting your off then?
Just
Pro comedy.
I guess jokes.
The
No, I didn't get in trouble for a joke ever. I've never been in trouble for a
No,
joke.
it's
I got in trouble for
UCB
first
thing,
degree hashtag not believing.
Tape on your mouth like 10 bullhorns 2 seconds later.
No, that was my bad. No,
Poking the bear.
Me Too wasn't a thing for like 2 years after that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
believe women, it was not believe all women, it was believe women, which is also fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There's only one group on the planet dumb enough to believe women. They're called men. Women don't do that. like,
They're
and the men
constantly-
didn't do it either.
it's a fucking dumb, yeah. And then, but I was in trouble for saying like, why are you posting this on here? Maybe on your way to Twitter, hit up the police.
Yeah.
If you know somebody committed a crime.
Sure.
That's what I was in trouble
He's
for.
pretty
on your way to
measured.
Twitter.
Pretty measured.
Just on your way, while you're waiting for the officer to speak with you. Just try that, just because I felt like it wasn't enough of a punishment for a serial.
That was what he's telling me, that the military released these commercials where they basically have like people in the military that are just going to monitor like Twitter and social media. And the idea is that like you'll get deployed to Twitter.
That's fucking real. Isn't that crazy? That came out
no,
in
it's-
2011.
That's a real thing.
In 2011, this is like why Jimmy's shows are very upset. I smoke more pot than I ever have because of learning. And in 2011,
You got to cope when you hear about this shit. You go, I need my
it's
medicine.
so- yeah.
You got to stay
Copium.
dumb is what you got to do.
Well, I
Stay-
can't. I got to pay my rent.
That's the hack.
I'm
So-
too smart for my own good.
It's not even smart. Like, if I was smart, I could maybe compartmentalize it and be like, well, that's the way though. But in 2011, it's in Newsweek. We put the article up. That it's We had this guy John Kirikow on. You ever see him, John Kirikow?
No idea.
He was the guy from the CIA that was the whistleblower on they were torturing people, and if Concrete has an interview with him that's really fucking good. And anyway, he went to prison for that.
Yeah.
So he fucking
Tough break.
yeah, he explained it. There was something called the Smith-Mundt Act from 1948, which makes it illegal for the U.S. government to propagandize its own citizens. You know, because the communists and the Nazis, etc. It's a good law.
Sure.
Right, and they were trying to overturn that.
And they did overturn it. In 2011, they overturned it with the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act.
Ah, of
Yeah.
And
It's
what
old.
that
We gotta
did
change
was it made it so they can do that.
Yeah.
And the story at the time was, oh well, we send we send radio free whatever to Cuba, and they don't really listen to our propaganda, but they like baseball, and it's technically illegal that we're sending them baseball. So all this is doing is making it so we can send baseball to Cuba.
Oh my
But as it
God.
turns out, in case you're wondering why all the news sounds like fucking crazy propaganda, it's because it's now legal for the government to. So they deployed like 60,000 troops. This is 2011 to be online to just disseminate shit. Like all that bullshit about Russia's doing it, we were doing it first to ourselves.
Yeah, they're copycatting.
And
man.
Russia sucks at it.
We're the hipsters.
Well, I mean,
of
it just
this
came.
shit.
They just, even
I
the
mean,
Washington,
I'm Canadian.
Washington Post just had a thing where they're like, yeah, there was the Russian interference was nothing.
They're admitting that how many years later now
Yeah, like
from I
where
don't know,
nobody
2016?
cares. Like literally nobody cares anymore.
That's how. So that's what I learned from Jimmy's show. Is there's like a review embargo, where like you're not supposed to say what the movie was like until the day
Sure.
of embargo. That's the news. So because Jimmy's a comic and not a news person and doesn't give a shit about access,
Sure.
he'll just say the thing. Then I watch people who I liked. I'm not even again. Like I watch like Saga and fucking Breaking Point. They'll say a thing that we did like 3 months later, or they'll be like, "Hey, I think maybe we shouldn't send all of our money to Ukraine." Let's say it like now.
Yeah.
And CNN, but like doesn't get that they're different. Like she just thinks it's news, and she's just like watching the news and be like, the news can't like make up their mind on this Ukraine thing. Like every time I
Then I was like,
Dude.
it's so funny. They're like, so they're Nazis, but then these actual Nazis.
Trevor
are
fucking
not.
Noah goes, if there's even one Nazi flag, then the whole thing is
I know.
tainted. Really?
Yeah.
And that dumb, perfectly round-headed motherfucker is a big Ukraine guy, I promise. Doesn't know shit about it.
No.
The smartest guy in the dumbest room.
is that Greta Thunberg's arrest was staged.
She was arrested?
Oh,
Well, she wasn't
staged.
even arrested.
And everyone's-
It was-
you
she
saw
was-
this,
When-
right?
She was,
when was she
detained.
arrested?
She was detained.
She was arrested. Well, apparently, yeah, she was
Not
like
How come,
arrested.
how come that
Detained.
bitch hasn't grown
sex
since
in
she came out?
public.
Yeah.
yeah, she was banging dudes in public, and then they got arrested, and apparently it was all for publicity for her OnlyFans.
Oh,
that's
she
coming
banged
out.
Andrew Tate? It was
I was trying- I
No,
was-
there's
she got
videos.
tainted?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
videos. You see?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Basically, like they're about to. She didn't get arrested. She got detained for
Why?
like she was at some coal plant or something.
Where?
Yeah.
In Germany.
She
and
loves
she
coal.
trespassed.
She loves coal.
Yeah.
And
And apparently, if you go straight to the source, it's way cheaper.
Just grabbing bags of coal. She's like, yeah,
As they're-
sick. Coal's the new power.
It's like when you go to, travel, like to go to the mall where it's the, what do you call it?
the what the
Instead of getting T-shirts at the retail center, you go to the,
Oh, you
the
go to
outlet
the
mall.
outlet
Yeah.
mall, yeah.
Wait.
It's like she was doing that with coal.
Why is she detained?
She was trespassing, like straight up, and then
She was
And
protesting.
then, yeah, and then they're like about to take her away, and then they're all like laughing with each other, and then they're taking like all these media like photos and stuff, and then they pick her up.
Yeah, of course.
to act like they were dragging her away when they were.
Did
all,
you
like,
remember
buddy
when
But the
buddy.
videos,
AOC?
Kurt, you have to see the videos. They're like legitimately, the police are holding her and they're pausing with the police while the police look like they're like dragging her away, and then they stop and she smiles or whatever, and then they're like, "Okay, back," and then she's like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a proper.
It's exactly like AOC.
really?
The AOC
Dude,
thing.
yeah,
It's like
when,
the AOC
when
thing,
she had
yeah.
her hands with no handcuffs behind
Yeah.
her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was faking being handcuffed on the camera.
Fake and being handcuffed is incredible.
That's great.
The cops hadn't put her hands behind her back. She just did it and walked.
Yeah. I'm just doing this to prove a point. This
I mean,
is what
obviously-
a lot of Americans have to suffer through. It's like-
That was the gist of it.
oh yeah.
That's obviously like a fake. I didn't even hear about this, but it's clearly a publicity.
Speaking of the
especially in
police.
Germany.
Speaking of what?
The police.
Yeah, okay. You know what I wanted to ask your opinion on before that?
I want to get into this
Yeah.
story so bad.
Okay. Well, one more thing that I wanted to say before the police thing was, did you see there was a YouTuber basically, and he did like this, he basically did a prank where he steals people's luggage at the airport
Oh, yeah,
and then
I
just
saw
got like the shit beat out of him by like an old white guy. He's grabbing his hair and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then, so what
What kind of a
happens
prank
now?
is that?
Well, that's what I mean. It's
is
like, it is weird because you're like, can I do a prank where it was like, the like punch, you literally,
Dude,
I broke
would
into your
beat
house and
someone
robbed your
to
stuff.
death
Yeah.
for my. I don't even have anything valuable in my luggage.
I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, to be honest.
I just want the opportunity to beat the shit out of someone. So if someone gives me that, I'm
I
going to take
wish someone would take
Right.
my luggage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's the one guy, the gangbanger dude, who'll just be like, "What's up, yo?" And
Yeah.
he like flashed all these fake gang signs, and then they're like coming up on him pretty hard, and then they're like, "What?" They're like, "I bang, dude, I bang," and he's like, "What's your problem?"
There's-
and he's like, "That guy never gets."
It's like a IQ test. How like because pranks like. Everybody I've ever known who was kind of fucking stupid and awkward.
Sure.
Hey, is anybody sitting there like, yeah, like I'm just fucking with you?
Like, got you.
What?
You're a fucking idiot. How dare you trust me?
What?
How dare you?
You trusted me, you're a friend of several years.
Yeah.
Did you have a condom on? Yes.
Like Joey Sal,
Original prankster.
who?
Joey Sal's, but
Yeah, that
has
was
any
the guy.
has there been a YouTuber that got like
Somebody
killed
got killed
yet or something?
Yeah, they had a knife and a mask and they got shot.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
there
a
was
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently there was that. There was the guy, and then the Kai. He killed the
No, not
crazy
Kai.
guy
That's
as
not
a prank.
That's not a prank.
No, so Kai wasn't a prank.
No, Kai's very real.
Yeah.
Kai's in jail now, though, for real.
As he should be.
Yeah, internet legend.
What did he do?
Kai.
I was like, bah! Bah! Bah, bah.
Did they just make a documentary
Yeah.
about him?
Yeah,
The Hatchet
there's-
guy?
yeah, the Hatchet guy.
I confuse him with Andrew Callahan until just now.
Man, but that dude, I feel like, yeah, he's just getting. I feel like you play in that territory. You're just eventually someone's just gonna come beat the shit out of you.
Isn't that the point?
That's
Is you're trying to do
Andrew
crazy?
Callahan?
How often
Yeah.
does that happen?
What?
That
did-
people get the shit beat. The YouTubers get the shit beat out of them for their pranks.
I'm not so tapped into the prank world, but you can watch like pranks gone wrong compilations.
Seems like that's the
Well,
point.
guys, as a member of the prank community, I. There are
You're
bunches
just-
of-
There's a
Are they
really
a community? That's what I
and
want
then
to know.
you whisper, "Gotcha."
There's a really good one where it was the clown era of pranks where people dress them as clowns and shit. A guy,
What?
and he,
Dude, good for- I'm so glad that guy pistol whipped him because there was a while when it was
Clowns deserve.
there
it,
was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I feel it was racist. It was then you go to the hood and scare black people with supernatural pranks. I swear to God, and there's been
That's
a
a
couple.
genre. That is a genre on the internet. Scaring blacks with
Yes.
spooky stuff.
Yeah, David Blaine.
Yeah,
David Blaine got all the way to his like stunts.
Yeah.
In Haiti, he took advantage. In the one special, I love the Haitian people. I'm like, yeah, because they think you're a wizard. Of course you love it, you jagoff.
dude, holy shit.
Yeah, with a clown. Just for Laughs gag was a little bit about that
What was
for a
the
while.
old one where it was on like Tosh.0 times when a guy was jumped out of one of those rolly recycling
Yes.
carts and a black guy just punched him in the
I remember
face.
that one.
And he fell in like
That was real good shit.
that was beautiful.
Yeah, man. The Tosh.0 early stuff from the guy who got hit by an ice cream truck, like all that stuff.
Oh,
is
yeah,
fucking-
yeah, the guy
that's
dancing in the
gold.
street?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so our girl, and this is super up Jay's
My
alley.
God, I've been waiting for this.
This
Why do
so
all chicks in a
Who's your
polycule
girl?
all look the same?
so this
mean,
Tennessee
totally.
cop is just like running through dudes, right?
Okay, wait. Okay, I understand.
You know the Tennessee cop, right? But the
but
memes
I don't know
are
the whole
incredible.
story.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay
So
will tell
her
you.
husband is a cop or no?
Yeah, no.
Jay was on the force. Jay was like
Yeah,
Steven
yeah.
Seagal. He was
I
like,
was, like, in
he's temporary police force, volunteer police force.
Tennessee lawman.
Can we see what she looks like? Is there some way to
You
see
never
it?
seen what she
exactly
looks like?
the Sam
My-
Bankman-Fried's girl.
You know, my
Yes.
buddy Rich from high school has been texting me this all week, and I just was busy and didn't really look at it.
She kind of looks like if Pinocchio came to life but was a girl. Like
she looks like fucking Caroline
Oh.
Ellison.
She
Hold
also
on.
looks like a hood rat, like exactly what you'd expect. Like if you said, "Hey, some girl from your high school just like
Like-
took 3 dudes and
Dude,
like at her
she
work
looks
in the
like-
back, and you were at like the produce section afterwards." This is what you're picturing.
She
Like I
looks
can
like-
picture with like the McDonald's hat on and the apron and shit.
All right, guys, stop getting me hard, can you, for 2 seconds? She looks like when I met Big J, his first girlfriend that he was with when I met him in South Jersey.
This is what she looked like.
And she had like hoop earrings and really tight pullback hair.
Oh yeah, like not a
gel
hair out of
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And that's like if she aged up to now, that is what she would look like.
Yeah, this is the girl that like comes home and you're like, "Why is there basketball jerseys in your backpack?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, nothing. Just my
Yeah.
friends."
Yeah,
Like she
no, I
probably
said I
used to
would do
be
the
cute. She used to be cute, and like all Irish heads, they only can go 2 ways, which is old baby or spooky witch. and she's gone into the old baby
Gross.
touches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby Kelly's an old baby.
Old baby,
Yeah.
Bill Burr could be a witch or a baby, depending on how you squint.
Yeah, what's the light like
There
that
you
day?
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
dude.
only two Akan's Irish heads, and they go two ways. It's a fact.
Oh, spooky witch or
Not looking good for him.
Declared unfit for sex
Dude,
crimes.
you see the
trial.
he's like
gone,
senile, like where he can't go to jail.
yeah.
He has to go to
Guess
like a
what?
I guess you
psych
took his pussy away, and that was the secret weapon that was keeping him alive.
Guess who my vote for president is now?
yeah, I mean, we can only go in one direction.
That's what Danny. There was this
Sleepy
old
Ron-
guy.
Sleepy Ron
There was
Jeremy.
this guy that had 2 dicks one time, and Danny would always say he'd be the villain in jail. that
Not the 2 dick guy.
is though. If you were a gang when Ron Jeremy was in jail, that is a pretty funny thing. If you get him in jail for because you're like, we didn't like raping dudes. Like it was just
Don't
part
you
of the
remember?
game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Why is my thing dead? Don't you remember the fucking
Down?
the song "Date Rape" and Ron Jeremy? No, this is me. Yeah, where Ron Jeremy's the guy, the date rapist, and he goes to jail. And
Wait, he was in that video?
Sublime.
I've
yeah,
never seen the video.
Remember Sublime?
I know
Yeah, of course,
Sublime,
yeah, yeah.
obviously.
They had a song called "Date Rape," and the video was Ron Jeremy, and he was the date rapist.
Jeez.
And he goes to jail, and he goes, "He was butt raped by a large inmate." That was the line.
And it was Ron Jeremy.
Yeah,
Oh.
it came true.
Dude, full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
You
he looks-
definitely
he looks
don't want your new
really-
cellmate to be Ron Jeremy, man. That's tough business.
he
Well, he
is-
doesn't. He can't even go in like because he's a goof.
Yeah, he's like, so.
He's a sex offender, so like he's got to go.
He's a
fucking-
goof.
he's
They
gotta go
call
with
it
the
a
rest of them.
goof.
Can you
in
imagine
Canada,
that though?
yeah.
You went, but like imagine being the guy that's
Never
like,
call someone a goof in Canada.
no, yeah, that's like you'll get
That's
that.
what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
You don't know that?
But no,
No,
goof
It's a
isn't.
chomo. It's the same as a chomo.
It's
in
a goof
America.
is like, I think, specifically kids. I think
Did
you've
you
been fucking around with
Did
kids.
you have a
yeah.
show called Goof Troop on your Disney show?
Yeah, it was a slur. They're changing that like you're changing the football team.
Yeah, no, Goof Troop was very different in Canada, man.
Wow.
Yeah, we did. It was a different show.
You know Pizzagate? That's what we call a Goof Troop.
Wow.
We still had Goof Troop and Kin. It was just like Paul Bernard. It was 4 dudes.
yeah, poor dude's just like, what's on the menu?
That's such a great name for it. Look at this goof. This goof over here.
Yeah, it was the one army troop that like spent a little too much time in Thailand.
Eating's good, boys.
Yeah. Well, that would be I was just saying if you were like the guy that, your gang was like, you know what, there's the child molester in this next cell. Ron Jeremy was assaulting women. I'm going to go fucking teach him a lesson. Then he comes back. He's like, so anyways, that guy raped me. You go, okay, well, did you teach him a lesson? Sort of.
What's the worst? Okay. You know what the worst thing I imagine in prison? You go into prison and your cellmate's a gigantic.
the thing. His new costume, like in prison.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
like-
have toilet paper rolls on your
Yeah,
ears
yeah,
while
yeah.
you fucking
He goes, "What are you
smash."
supposed to be?"
Put together a jail furry costume. Because that.
At a beast, he just has like a bear head cocked to the side.
A lot of paper mache in prison, I guess.
That's so funny.
They got nothing but time and.
Paper.
Dude, have you ever gone on a furry deep dive?
No.
Well, don't. I went into deep furry because I got sucked in when the whole Chris Chan shit happened with his mom.
Yeah, Chris Chan stuff. You know Chris Chan?
I wasn't. He was a transgender YouTuber who like killed someone or something.
He raped
Or-
his
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Now, Chris Chan, remember the singularity, the thing that they said, this guy Ray Kurzweil, in
Right,
2012, he kept talking, all of our technology and interconnectedness, we will all merge with technology, and it'll be called the singularity.
Yeah.
And Chris Chan is that. He is the he is the end
He's
point.
everything.
He's
Yeah.
everything of what this leads to is this fucking guy who's like autistic and trans, and he raped his senile mother.
Basically, if you're moms, you should be against
Dude, there's
this
like
whole
a 50.
because it all ends with
It's like a 50-hour documentary on him.
I've watched.
Really?
Listen,
You watch all of it?
You know-
like people say he's the most documented person.
yeah,
on
listen,
YouTube or
he's
whatever.
and they'll never make a Netflix thing of it because there's too many
It's too
uncomfortable
insane.
things.
Yeah.
You ever seen the Manti Te'o one where
Oh, so good.
with that psychopath that tricked this? And I remember when that happened, Manti Te'o, because Anderson Cooper, they showed it.
Yeah, of
all of
course.
them were like, oh, he's gay. They couldn't get in their head that this is a Polynesian fucking Mormon Like
Yeah.
that's.
I
a
mean, even
different
watching
breed.
the documentary, you're like, dude, are you serious? You hadn't met your own
And-
girlfriend for 2 years?
dude.
and shit?
but
What do you think
it's-
Christians are like?
I guess.
But this dude, he was the first. He was the first to get catfished.
Yeah.
No one had
That is true.
treaded this
Oh,
territory.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like we're to now to get tricked on the internet. Sometimes I'll be I'll be sexting with a chick and I'll ask her for something specific and she won't send it. I'll be like, this isn't who I think it is.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been sexting with.
I can't believe you even risked that in the first place.
Oh man.
What do you ask her for?
Well, I'll be like
Today's paper?
Yeah, yeah. I need today's paper next to your pussy.
Hold it next to your genitals so I
Yeah.
know your genitals have been there the whole time. Yeah, when like Manti Te'o, people that weren't ever religious cannot get their heads around somebody like super Christian in a small. You know, Ben Avery used to be on
Yeah.
Tim. He told me he used to say he was in a Footloose church when he was growing up, and I didn't understand he meant that literally, like
No dancing.
dancing. Yeah, he told me he thought.
Well, they danced at church?
no,
Oh,
they can't.
they were against
Not allowed to
dancing.
dance.
Like Footloose in Texas. And he goes, I thought
John Christ had that,
Wait,
where he
wait,
was
wait.
like in the dorm and none of that
Oh,
stuff.
well, fuck that. He thought babies came out of the butt until he was 16.
Stop
that's
it.
Yeah.
insane.
And weren't in this dumb church about like I guess her husband was into having like diaper fucking fetish shit. Diaper. And the friends were like, "What did you just fucking say?" Like, so if you grow up in a thing, dude, like if you grow up in a thing that's a tight enough cult, you have no idea what the world is.
Just just with the dudes, everyone's like, "Fuck," you know,
That's
how
who
girls are
fall-
always
yeah.
whining, and then you always, and then you always have to change their diaper, man. It's
She
out of
said this-
control.
Dude, my soother budget is through the roof.
yeah.
So that guy Manti Te'o, they all like, oh, he's secretly gay. They couldn't get in their heads. It's just an innocent, like a fucking Samoan. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And who had no idea someone would even lie like that on the internet.
For sure, yeah.
They all trashed him. That's how you see what a piece of shit. He was a virgin. He had
Yeah.
not been with any
Yeah,
woman.
yeah.
And it's called an affinity scam, right? Like Bernie Madoff stole from Jews because he was Jewish and they trusted him. That was affinity scam.
Stupid Jews.
So then the psychopath that did this, who could do like 7 different voices, in the documentary they got to stop it every 5 seconds to go like a disclaimer. We didn't know this was a trans person, and they're not a bad person. I hope you feel bad for them too.
Sure.
That's what the theme of the Netflix documentary was.
Yeah, it
because
was
they
like
made it
basically like a-
before.
Tortured trans person.
Yeah, and by the way, you could tell this maniac transition to get out of the hatred of the other Polynesians.
Which you also have to respect.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a commitment.
I
It's
do.
a commitment. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like such a move. It buys you at least a year for sure.
It's like the
Wild
talented
shit.
Mr. Ripley to me.
If you're in trouble.
yeah. So this
It's
guy
like Bo
Christian.
Jackson playing multiple sports or something. Like,
Bo knows Polynesians.
That buys you for sure a year though with the trans.
What do you mean buys you?
If you
yeah.
transition and people are on your case, I think you get at least a year where people are off your case.
Yeah.
like,
I think Caitlyn Jenner got out of
A murder.
vehicular homicide.
Yeah, but then they stopped liking her now, right?
Yeah,
so she
yeah.
only had her year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It's like
what?
there's an episode of SpongeBob with, and I'll be back when the circle's gone. That's your circle. You put a little circle in the sand. You're like, can't touch me, sea bear.
I was thinking that's why it's like I feel like why it's so much easier to understand gay than trans because this is like super. Want to have sex with girls? I'm like that with guys, and you go, okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
You go when I know you get a boner with girls, I get that with guys, and you go, and then but with the trans thing, you go, you know how you feel like a man, and you're like. No,
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. You know how you feel like some sort of man? You go, not really.
Most of the time I don't actually.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of instances.
And they're like, oh, I guess. I don't know. And they're like, well, anyways, I don't have that. You're like, okay.
you know, when trans became a thing in New York, that was like so many comics were into trans chicks, like so many.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
Yeah, Jim Norton was, DeRosa
I know
was,
that,
Bob.
yeah.
Like it wasn't like, you know, I mean, I know it's New York. So when that became a thing, I didn't realize how different the new trans is autistic fucking internet kids
Yeah.
that got like they're just such incel. They're not they don't want to get fucked by a dude. This is the only way they're going to hook up with a girl. So it used to be they didn't get the
Huge move.
dude. I used so it used to be, and I had a friend that transitioned in college who was like,
So
well,
that you literally turn into a girl to get more girls.
It's filled with
Really?
trans lesbians, and they're not even trying. They got full beards, and I don't have long hair. Like it's
That was
not-
legitimately
those
like,
around the
I don't know if you
summer.
remember this, but that was like one of my first jokes that worked. And a girl being, I know how to pick up.
it's like I'm gonna be in there somehow. I'm gonna be in the fucking worm pile somehow.
I always respect
And
the
it-
game's the game, but
It's crazy, dude. It's
In the end,
so
it always comes back to pussy. That's
It-
Everything.
Yeah, everything
It
just
didn't-
centers back.
it didn't used to be. And I remember I was thinking this was an ignorant joke people make. They go, "Oh, what are you gonna chop your dick off?" And I knew from my friend that it bucks you up.
yeah,
because-
you wanted to touch the back of your
Not
throat.
no
and
more.
like a-
Yeah.
Not no more. The new autistic ones that are like possibly not even trans, just experiencing some kind of weird, whatever the fuck they're putting in the water. They get the full thing, and the suicide rate is worse after that because you've been.
I don't
fucking-
think that I would need the study to probably believe that.
I've said this to people. And they're like,
That
shut
should
up.
like yeah. I feel like they're like, hey, we think that it's probably they feel worse after they cut the dick off. I want to do the run the numbers. Like, I'll probably take your word for that one. Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. Like that's a new thing that doesn't really get talked about is the difference between like the chick with dick trans and then this like new like internet nerd who became it's a lot of like tech people.
Yeah. Well, all they talk about is the ones that did cut their dick off, and they go, "I love it," and you go, "Well, see, one of them likes
see?
it."
I was even saying like with he saying it always comes back to pussy. Like like so many people that were kind of like shot up malls or whatever. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it is like if that guy was like getting tons of girls, that none of that would have happened, right?
Dude, no.
Which is like why you don't see as many girls because if a girl was
Wait.
like, I'm gonna shoot up this mall unless I get some fucking dick, like it'd be like problem would be solved by the end of the
Are-
after. You know what I mean?
are-
If she just posted her location and be like, this mall's getting shot up unless some dick comes through, it's
I
like.
love the idea of a guy like rolling out blueprints to a mall. He's like, I enter here, and, I'll have- and then
Call me an American. You're just enlisting for the army.
and then he's getting like notifications like fuck me. He's like, okay, I'll roll the blueprints up. I'll fuck this girl quick, and then we'll get back to work. And he just keeps postponing.
We're
his
gonna go
plan.
and flank from the back. Turns
I
out she's a
mean-
cop at the Tennessee Department.
I'm hearing that women could have prevented a lot of these tragedies
Yeah.
Yes,
It is their
exactly.
fault at
by
the end
not
of the day.
being stuck up.
Yeah. Places up, and you're just like, and any of you girls can solve it. And they're like, we could probably just they try to get the politicians to get amendments removed. Is that instead of
Take away some of your rights before we give you some
Bam.
pussy.
I don't think that it's
like instead of having sex, you're like, well, it'd probably be easier to like petition Congress. Like,
What did that guy call himself? Elliot Roger,
Supreme gentleman.
the Supreme.
Supreme Gentleman.
what's his deal? What was that?
I didn't hear about Supreme.
Isn't that what his nickname was?
Yeah,
The
he
Supreme-
called himself the Supreme
I don't-
Gentleman.
After it's funny you say that because I told my girlfriend, she just found out who he was. I think last night actually.
Who's
That's-
Elliot Roger? No,
He's
I-
the
Emo
guy.
guy,
who sung-
right?
He's the guy who the term incel came from.
Oh wait, I was thinking he's
Really?
the original emo.
No, he's where incel comes
Who's
from.
that?
No
he's
way.
the original incel. He's the guy who like some girl at his like his college.
Dude, his fucking
Jesus.
diary manifesto thing is really amazing. Like he really is a little
He's
shit.
like when
Dude,
the
he
guy in
consumes
Toronto.
all this shit. Even like
was
this
big
guy's
news.
That's got
Yeah,
it tattooed on his arm.
You're like, I'm
and that was like his manifesto was all about
the
this guy.
Supreme Gentleman.
He goes.
He was saying he
yeah.
goes, I'm the second Supreme Gentleman.
He goes,
Yeah.
It was like all hail Supreme Gentleman or something.
That is, he was. Yeah, that sucks that that's taken though. If you have to be the second.
It does sound like a Marvel character or something. The Supreme Gentleman is here. Comes down just like the superhero pose. Yeah.
and I like his gentlemanliness. Like you didn't fuck me.
That's how he gets you into his lair. He always holds
Yeah.
the door for you. That's his one weakness is he can't not be a gentleman. So if there's a girl walking
I'm,
through.
I'm laying my jacket on a mud puddle. I can't.
That's his one weakness. He can't not be a gentleman.
And every day he goes unfucked, he becomes more powerful. And everyone's like, "Can someone please fuck this man?" And he's like, the girls are like, I don't know. He's kind of like he's not. Yeah, he's like he's killing everybody.
Can't
He doesn't make enough money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling any like hype beast friends the Supreme Gentleman.
Oh, we haven't. We barely.
I know that. I feel like
We
we're
got
going to be
off track.
weaving
I
in and out of our
apologize.
cop episode. Z-Biotics. Now, listen. If you're drinking, you're having some claws, perhaps. You're having some drinks.
Some drinks.
Yes. And then maybe the next day
Grandma.
you're calling your grandma.
Where's my grandson?
And he's Z-Biotics. This is one of the ones that honestly didn't even know. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't quite bounce back the way that I used to. And I have more stuff to do than ever. So
Yep.
that's what Z-Biotics is for. So I'm going to tell you, you don't want to waste a day sucking around on the couch. That's not you right now. It's a pre-alcohol probiotic.
Ooh.
Right? That's crazy.
yeah.
Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct by the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, which some people might say, that's to blame for your this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut where you need it the most. Just remember to drink ZBiotics before you drink alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. Spots, but you're there till 3 a.m. and obviously you're going to have a couple, but you got an early morning. I'm shooting. We're doing the podcast. ZBiotics, pop it in you first. The first time I tried it, I was amazed at how good I felt the next day after doing it. So every time I have a ZBiotics before drinking, it makes a huge difference. So give ZBiotics a try for yourself. You go to zbiotics.com/poisecast, zbiotics.com/poisecast to get 15% off your first order when you go use the code BOYSCAST at checkout.
Okay, so explain to me what the deal
Okay.
is.
Jay, give him the first half of it.
So off duty.
She's married too.
And she's married. And apparently her husband was there and they were like making out with her in front of her whore.
No. It's one of those things too where he's like to save the marriage.
Well,
he probably was like, she's like, I need this, and he's like, I think I could be cool with that.
point-
And then
listen.
in practice, he's like, this is not cool.
The guy's
Is
hand-
that's the real question to me is like, so what actually, because this guy basically said, I'm going to stay with her or whatever.
Yeah.
And you,
So they had him handcuffed to a toilet. He's
yeah, like did they go, yeah, let's try this open thing. And then she comes back like, took down 7 tonight. And she's like, day one, huh?
dude.
She goes, how many did you get? He goes,
You know,
I just signed up for Tinder.
listen, I'm very shocked by the whole. Like years ago, I had an open.
Well, you had it one way. He had the Andrew Tate deal.
Yeah,
and
that's
that-
sick.
and
Hasn't
that-
had it since though. It was one and
Yeah.
definitely he was living the life for a bit.
modern woman.
I've never sold it.
Yeah.
it wasn't my.
It was offered to you.
I was like, well, if you think that's best, like,
I picture you like eating oatmeal and she's like, you want to fuck my friend? You're like, oh.
Yeah,
we were watching Sister.
Whole thing.
Yeah, she had a friend who was always over.
But another girl.
Anyway, so every time I hear open relationship now, it's the saddest, like cuck fucking.
Yeah, get some dude just getting.
Banging a bunch of chicks, not cool.
Yeah. No, they ruined it.
If you were gonna have that, I've been with a chick for sure where you could be like, she's like, oh, can we be together? And then being like 20 and being like, okay, we'll be open. What you really mean was that like, I don't actually really for real want to be with you. If we can maybe say that or whatever. But the whole thing is like the minute like you found out that like this thing was making you look stupid, you're like, okay, I'm out of this whole deal.
And I think if you're the person proposed the open relationship, you got a couple on deck. You're not like the
Tough to compete
it's
when you're
probably-
a guy, though.
Yeah.
No, but it's
Well,
probably more like you has to be in a relationship. You go, if I can change nothing,
then yes.
Dude,
Then yeah.
if you're like that, you probably are gonna cheat on top of the shit. If you're
that's
a
how
dude
the
like
good old,
that,
in the old days, that's what they used
Yeah. You just cheated and everyone just kept their mouth shut. That's how we used to do
Well,
it.
you know
And it
why?
was beautiful.
and a lot of chicks would rather cheat because then there's not like another. Like that's they'd rather
I can
have
see that
cheated.
being, yeah.
Because you don't want to have it. There's no chance that they're not the one. It's very rare. That's why it was her friend doing it, who was like definitely not trying to. You know what I
Was
mean?
the friend hot?
Yeah.
You'd think that she'd be like, I've set you up with your first chick to
Listen.
have sex with. I'm here.
The water drop the glass.
Yeah, the Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park water.
Kurt, your snack is here.
Who involved is my
course.
guess.
Generally,
Yeah,
yeah.
So what do you think happened in this scenario?
With
So I think she just wanted to fucking go to town. She wanted to go to town, and this
And then
dude's
he
a very-
agreed to it. That's your synopsis.
Well, he's super religious. His name's Jedediah.
He's religious.
They're like
his name's Jedediah.
his name's Jedediah, dude.
that's
like
tough.
and
Wow.
they got so he was kind of. I think he's just trying to.
That's a first person referral to it. He goes, Jebediah is not liking this.
And now
Whoa.
he's apparently working as a police officer.
A lot of details.
She didn't get fired for fucking the Girls Gone Wild party, which hosting, if your wife goes, I want to host a Girls Gone Wild party, you
It
just
was
like.
called that.
It was called a Girls Gone Wild
But
party.
there's only one girl.
yeah.
So it's a girl.
That's the part she
gone
didn't mention to the husband.
Yeah. Girl Gone
Like,
Wild
so when are the
party.
girls gonna show up?
Where are all these?
Oh my god.
No, that's I'm the wild girl.
Yeah,
gone wild.
I am the girl gone wild.
What will Jed say?
And she,
doing?
oh, she the one
We
who
took
cracked
an
and
oath.
told everyone? Is she the
What?
one who told everyone?
Either she told or it came out, but like
I think
so
it came out. Yeah.
A couple of the cops were straight up like, "No, this never happened. I'm a happily married man. This would never." And then they're
Wow.
like, "Yeah, we got you." And the more you lie, the worse it is because you're like a fucking cop.
Yeah.
That is probably if you like you probably when you're like, okay, this girl just banged 9 guys. You're like, I could slide in there and I'll undetect.
in the mix, lost on the shelf. You're like,
Do you,
oh.
do you think that's how much of a freedom fighter she was? She was like, I'm gonna go to the police department, and while the cops
We're either black or Latino. She clearly doesn't discriminate on race. I don't know. What's it?
I think it's like a really small. Like I think it's like where you have to move.
Oh yeah, she's like,
Where the
it's
fuck
like,
you gonna move? By the way,
It's like you're-
I know about it.
You're probably making 100K.
he's right. I didn't even think of that
Pop the
angle.
OnlyFans, you make 100K in a month. Easy,
Oh, easily.
easy.
I
just-
You're good. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just lost $10, pal. You're good, and she's good.
Dude, one time this fucking this comic I know, he reached out to me. He's like, "Dude, do you know where I can get Belle Delphine's nudes?" And I was like, "No, not really." He's like,
What? People hit you up with that stuff.
well, because he knows I was like, I'm a fan of her nudes. You're messaging people you know to see if you can get
Dude,
your
and you know
money's
he's doing
worth.
that with his dick in his hand.
Dude, he'd be getting them nudes.
Yeah, dude. No, that's fair. That's fair.
He's on page 100 of fucking Pornhub. Just
Did you get any of her homeopathic?
No, Jars and Farts came later, but if it wasn't for her, we would never had Jars and Farts.
What's next? I feel like you're so on the pulse of this. What do you think?
He is on
What
the
do you think-
pulse of this.
That's what I'm
Johnny-
saying. What's next? Like, what's your prediction?
Under titty sweat. And then someone sent me a link like 2 weeks after that of an OnlyFans chick.
How the fuck do you collect that?
I was like-
what is that? What are you like on a treadmill with like?
I'll be right back.
I'm just telling you, I called.
grab me a clock, Kurt.
Yeah.
There's one right here.
Oh, okay.
How do you
We'll
like?
grab a couple.
Yeah. I'm wondering how you like collect it.
Yeah,
Like,
what are the
are you
logistics?
like on a treadmill and then you're wiping it up with like a towel and then
Could be.
wringing?
Up to,
Yeah, like
like-
are you diluting it? Like is this? And then is someone like fucking tasting it and goes, "This is stepped on"?
Because I know the farts in jar chick, she would like send the fart in jar with, I think, a video of her farting in the jar. So it's like confirmation. And then it was also, there's like a handwritten note to each individual person.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
For the provenance.
But she was making like $1 million a month off of that. It was like
crazy.
crazy. Which is like, yeah, that makes
Wild.
sense. It makes so much sense why so many chicks are going to OnlyFans when it's like your alternative is to work like a 9 to 5 and grind yourself into dust to not be able to afford a home, or you can sell your farts in a jar and become a millionaire.
You must be aware of so many chicks that were like, you know what? That's it. I'm quitting my job. I'm gonna be an OnlyFans, and you're like, you know, you see them 6 months later, like 5 subscribers.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you don't have the hustle,
That's
girl.
tough.
Competitive market. Tits are
You
competitive
have
market.
to
Yeah.
have an
Most competitive.
audience, but yeah.
No, it's a you unless you're bringing the heat, and you can like Reddit and shit. You can grow an audience. It's like a fucking.
I mean, really, what you need to do is you need to get famous with your clothes on.
yes.
So then there's real like thirst to see you with your clothes off. But if
Yeah.
you just start,
You gotta develop thirst.
Yeah, if you start
Yes.
with no clothes on and like not popular, you're like, I don't know.
Then, because like, where do you progress from there? You got to
Exactly.
start shoving
Well,
shit
if
in
you're
your
super
ass.
hot-
That's the dudes with the offense.
When is it gonna slip out? I say the N word occasionally. You know.
Who was that guy that was the N-word Joker and he was like
What?
a countdown? Remember the
yeah,
N-word
the
Joker?
countdown. Yeah, until remember on
And
that's
then-
like the
Dude, the day of,
yeah.
the day of, he's like, all right, I'm gonna say he's
Escape
Yeah,
plan, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
that one.
fucking.
That's like
good.
the Twitter account where it's like blank did 9/11 and then it's like a different word every day. So sometimes it'll just be like banana and then one day it's like
Love
The
it.
best memes for this stuff though is like I posted the Will Smith one where it's Will Smith with that
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
Joey Have you seen the Joey Chestnut?
No, what's Joey
It's just
Chestnut?
her in front of fucking a
All the hot
tray of hot dogs.
Dude, my favorite was there was like a band. It's like a picture of people. That one fucking
Oh,
sent
man.
me.
Yeah, all she could do is like.
I saw a lot of the ones with the superheroes being like, we can pay, and it's 5 guys.
I mean, she has to do porn at this point. She has no option, really.
I mean, it's be stupid. I honestly, I think it'd be like, what is it going to tarnish your reputation? Like, go.
well,
for
also, it's like if you try to get a normal
Not
job.
well. It's pretty
the
great
only
at that
thing going for
department. It's very popular
Yeah.
around the department.
is her name's Megan Hall, so I guess that's like just generic enough.
Yeah.
But like when you get served,
That's going on my social immediately. That's going on my grid. If I took a picture with her, that's going right on the grid.
Accused of performing oral sex. The officer said Hall's husband saw the kiss and told officials the cuckold he wasn't really on board. I was like super against this, but so why is he staying with her? Like I don't get the whole thing.
I think it's the religious thing, man. You like stick by your wife.
Yeah,
I mean, it's already over for you.
The Lord hates it's a very weak. He might be going like, oh, I have to forgive or whatever, but
But if he was so religious, he wouldn't have agreed to the open thing in the first place.
I don't
'Cause that was also
You know what?
against
I'd like
Yeah,
to
it's
know
his
more.
Allah's will.
I want to know more about Jedediah. If you
Yeah.
tell me what his religion is, I bet I could figure
I
it
can't
out.
find that much about Jedediah. Can you find Jedediah's religion?
I could look at it, yeah.
Jedediah is probably Christian. If we got a Jedediah.
So-
Yeah, but he's
some
saying which
version.
type.
Yeah, that's
Chris,
true.
Kurt's sort of an expert
We
on
know
that
we
sort of
know he's
stuff.
not Muslim because the woman's still alive.
I love the idea of him dying and then going to
He's-
heaven and
by
God
the way,
just giving him a hug.
Famous,
Oh.
man! You
Talk-
are famous, dude. Not for the right
Talk
way.
about the horns of a cuckold.
That is fucking wild.
That is.
That's the most brutal. That should be in your court in your divorce.
yeah.
I'm right after Jedi, Your Honor.
yeah, dude, yeah.
That's how big this is.
He's like whatever the next thing is in. He's like working.
He's
for
a head
horse.
of Jedediah Springfield from The Simpsons.
That's so funny. Him going back to the park ranger, the girls that work with him be like, my girl thinks that she can bang all these
Wait.
guys at work. Let's show.
out because the thing got so big. Like,
Hey.
Oh, he was a BIT.
like he was like, oh, I'm going to be a park ranger, and then his wife fucked everyone. Everyone found out, and he was like, you know what, I got to take a leave of absence. Like,
Oh
I'm too
no!
stressed. Yeah.
And she's like, "I guess you're taking a leave." She's like, "I'm actually going back in tomorrow." That's the twist. Is the
That's
guy starts the OnlyFans though, and then he's clocking money bang. I can't
I
imagine.
don't know.
he's
He has a
got one.
really sad look on his face.
You don't
All-
think he-
every photo is like just like this photo
Wait,
right
can I
here?
see him?
That
see.
photo
Oh,
is like
shit.
that's the photo. That's the face of a guy who knows his wife's getting railed on the
Oh
rag.
my God!
Jedediah is not a happy camper,
you
dude.
know he ain't working with a butter churn down there.
One of the wildest things they fucking said about her was that she was one of the cops was like, I'm worried about her health because she's abusing alcohol like crazy. She's getting fucked up all the time. And so you see another cop who's like a drunk and you go like, oh, keep him on the force.
Move over a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, since when is it a problem being a drunk and a cop?
Literally, yeah. But so she said that I saw that too, where it's basically like she's just nonstop getting drunk, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, probably there's something related to that. Obviously, if she's having the Girls Gone Wild parties and banging 9 guys in a night, I hope it's
Girl.
not bone sober.
Yeah.
Girl gone wild.
yeah. Girl Gone Wild parties.
Yeah, we don't know if there was ever any other chicks showed up. It's like that fucking old Chappelle skit where they're like, it's like I watched a gay porno once. The dude or the chicks never came. The chicks never came.
The chicks just didn't show up.
Yeah.
Jedediah's like, and when will mine be arriving?
Honestly, there doesn't actually say much in terms of him being religious.
Oh,
He's
maybe-
just a bitch. Yeah, he's just a
Right.
garden
Oh my
variety
God.
bitch.
I
He's
mean,
just-
if he found Jesus, he'd
Jordan
but nobody, there's
Variety.
nothing that references his religion. They're just like he's just.
It's just
standing by his-
Jedediah.
He's just Jedediah, and he's
Where-
sticking by
he's
his
from
wife.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee Jed.
Oh my God.
Tennessee Jed, dude.
This is a
Yeah,
story
dude.
about a man named Jay. A lot of cop dicks went inside his wife's head.
Holy shit. God, fuck, man.
Oh, dude.
This is, and we're still in January, man. This is the hottest story of the year by far.
Yeah,
like
this
holy
one's-
fuck.
It really was
What?
big for the meme
The
world.
story
Oh,
of
yeah.
the coolest cop in the world.
Yeah, and his wife, who's an idiot.
Oh my
Dude, there's a
God.
lot of guys on that force though. Who are probably like, she didn't fuck me though. I wanted to fuck her.
Definitely, there's
she
a
was
few
turning like a
cops.
couple gross guys down.
Hey, what
They
am
just
I-
dodged
what am
the
I?
biggest bullet.
Oh, she didn't fuck me. What am I, her lawfully wedded husband over here?
Oh, how much do you think that guy was getting fucked? Like,
No, it can't be that often. I mean, she was probably worn a little out.
dude, every day it's loose in there.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Did they say which holes were used?
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going on the record here saying all
Yeah,
the
New York
holes.
Post says all holes were filled.
Okay.
Oh no, that's a traffic report.
Okay. One quick thing is that they did last year at the British Awards. They basically said that they're going to make gender neutral. They're going to stop doing gender neutral categories.
I know where this is going. Because the reason we had the separation of categories was because, much like contact sports, men dominated.
yeah. Especially in like hip hop and shit like that.
You know what you never hear in sports, by the way? These trans female to males are killing us out here.
It's goddamn bloodbath out there. We just
We
can't
can't
keep
compete
up.
with them.
Dude.
These biological females that identify as males are destroying us.
Yeah, that's what it was. And they did like a huge last year. They did a huge like publicity tour on how there's no reason for gendered categories. Then this year, the first one, it wasn't even. They didn't even go get one award show in where it was all 5 men, and then they're just like, well, this is some bullshit.
What a stupid fucking.
Huge win for the dudes.
Is this a
though.
psyop?
Huge
Is this a psyop on dipshit actors, like to see what they'll tolerate?
I don't know. It's only a British one too. I don't think it was.
Oh,
even,
BAFTA?
it was-
Who
it
gives
was
a
like
shit?
Something like the Brit Awards.
Let me
or
tell you
some shit.
something. An award from Britain is useless. It's like
Yeah.
a socialist. When I went to England,
Definitely don't want a British
every
award.
every 4-year comic had a socialist award from the state already.
Every
for
4-year
doing
comic.
just for getting on stage.
A British award. They had a lot of. Canada had a ton of award shows. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well,
Did you win any crappy Canadian
I
awards?
didn't win any, but the Canadian Comedy Awards was like literally, it was a voting thing. It's like how many people you got to vote for.
I guess these are too, though.
Or
It's
it's like-
just,
but there's still like an industry
but that's what the Canadian Comedy Awards was. It was basically like, but what can constitute someone who gets to vote in there is like, directors or whatever.
Yeah, in
big
Canada,
Hollywood
you just
movies.
need an email
Dude,
address.
you remember on Kroll's show when they had Show Us Your Songs Canada and their prize? They go, "You're going to London."
God, yeah, Canada does stink a bit.
Well, you know
shit.
what I resent for as much as Canada stinks? All the shit in America, the social fucking warfare bullshit, how much of it is dominated straight up by Canadians? Most of it.
What do you mean?
Gavin McGinnis, the Proud Boys thing, Canada. Louder with Crowder,
You mean-
changing
you mean
minds
like-
Canadian. There's so many Canadians that are
There's the girl, the blonde girl.
Yeah, Lawrence Southern, Canadian.
Well, because for
thought you were gonna
us,
say Samantha Bee.
these are all people that
Samantha fucking Bee.
Yeah.
these are all people that made it to America. In order to get out of Canada, you have to claw your way to the top.
Sure.
You have to fight through all the fucking
Yeah.
mess. We leave by all the fucking chodes back in the Canada. You go back
know.
to Canada, it's full of fucking wet socks over there. We're the fucking top of the heap. Those guys can suck my cock. I made it out. I'm the best.
Well, let me tell you something. There's a lot of very passive-aggressive, bitter people in Ottawa. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even start on the places that aren't Toronto.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're busy just dealing with their hate for Toronto. They're not
Yeah.
even thinking about outside of
The
Canada.
Barrie
It's that
comedy
hokey.
scene.
It's that fucking like
Sure.
provincial that you.
yeah.
I don't even have time to think about America. Just Toronto's.
You know how sad it is to not be able to, like, you know how people get ostracized from comedy scenes for like whatever, saying the wrong thing or whatever. It's like so crazy when someone will be like, I'm in the, Three Rivers comedy scene and they don't like me. And you're like, why don't you move? And you're like, my parents live here. And you're just like, then quit anyway.
Yeah,
like,
you know
good, they
what?
all did you a favor by kicking you out.
Exactly, man. And that's what I
Get out of there.
I'll never get a CBC contract.
Jesus Christ, bro. I've had that conversation with so many comics where they're like, "Oh, I think I'll move in Toronto for a few years when I'm like a headliner in Windsor, Ontario." I'm like, "Bro, just go."
Yeah,
no one gives a fuck about you here. And then when you leave Toronto, no one will give a fuck about you there.
Yeah.
You're 2 stages away from people giving a fuck about you.
Totally.
You're not even at stage 1 of not getting a fuck about. Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
That's very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least if you live in, 3 hours out of Chicago and there's like some scene there, you're at least one step away.
Yeah, you go Chicago. You're like, oh, you're a Chicago comic. That's sick. You're like, I'm a fucking Windsor comic. Like the people suck my cock.
Well, if you're any good, but I will say, if you're any good and then you like make it does count for more than starting here. You get a little bit of immigrant burn,
I think a little bit maybe when you come here.
Because I grade Canadians on a curve. So if somebody does like America funny, I'm like, oh.
What's America funny? The act outs are really big.
Look how he uses that stool as a phone. Incredible.
A little blacker, yes. A little
got-
bit less white, yeah.
He's got 5 minutes and nothing else. Yeah. Oh, you're trying to get that late night. Okay. I
It's just
see ya.
a thing of there's a weird thing of like all Canadians, are either like I gotta get the fuck out of here, or they're like very satisfied where they are.
Well, they placate you though, because it is really. It's just like, it's communism or whatever, but it's like, there is 150 to 250 people where they go, hey, you're going to get like 80 grand a year to just kind of like do what we want you to.
Yeah.
And it is like, you can it is set up to be like, hey, if you work really hard, you can be one of these like 250 union men.
Well, I go there to get all my medications before I live closer to Mexico.
But also, when you look at the grand scheme of entertainment industries, you look like Mexico probably has a bigger entertainment industry than Canada. Like,
for
there's
sure.
there's just
It's like 180 million people. Or
there's
something.
no money there. That's what it comes down to. Is there's no people, there's no money, and the country is huge. So to work as a comic where you have to travel for your job, it's just ridiculous to be able to make a little bit.
All
of cash.
the BC, the British Columbia, and like Alberta, West Coast or West comics, they all like regularly like, yeah, I have like a gig tonight. It's a 10-hour drive. They just do it every weekend. 10-hour drive every time.
Yeah,
they're just like, it's normal.
Wild.
Yeah.
Our next sponsor is Athletic Greens. Now listen, you've heard about Athletic Greens, but this is the one thing, AG1, that I do literally every day. Every single day. I don't miss a day, to the point where me and Danny were out of it and we had to re-up.
Oh, we got the re-up.
We got to re-up because it's literally, I was running through it. It's something that I don't miss every day. I do it before I run every morning.
Yeah, first thing. Before coffee, I do it.
Yes. So, did you do it before the coffee?
I take it, right before the coffee.
I do that too because
it's while the coffee's going.
Yeah,
I
that's
put
what
the
you-
pot on, and then I go and I make the AG1.
Yeah, shake it up.
Shake it up.
You know what I've been doing? I don't know if this is a good ad read, but what I do is I put a bit of water in there, and then I put it in while I pour the rest, so it mixes.
It mixes better. Yeah,
so it mixes better. It's a little technique I've been doing while I do it. But if you don't know about Athletic Greens, why do you want to take a bunch of things every morning when one scoop of powder in water once a day is the healthiest thing you can do in under a minute? I took it because I want better gut health, increased energy, immune system support. When I start taking pills and vitamins, I get off them. I forget. I wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. It's got a cool tropical taste, and it's the healthiest thing that you can do in under a minute. So I'm always looking for life hacks, and that's why I've come to love AG1 by Athletic Greens, the all-in-one formula that makes it easy for me to cover my nutritional bases every day. Every scoop's packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, whole foods, source superfoods, and the highest quality that gives me major benefits in the gut, mood support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. Big celebrities, Tim Ferriss, big fan. Mr. Rogan, a lot of people are on the AG1.
Good shit.
Athletic Greens, the mission is for them to empower people to take ownership of their health with a simple daily habit. So now that I've made Athletic Greens a part of my life, it is the most nutritional habit that I've ever stuck to. If all the habits that I've done, this is the one that I continue to do, and probably, to be honest, haven't missed a day, or at least missed one day in 6 months, So if you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/boyscast. That's athleticgreens.com/boyscast and check it out. But, okay, on the topic of the Gavin McInnes that you brought up, Vice had a real banger this week.
What happened?
This is the top shelf article.
Just for the record,
vintage Vice.
The guy, the most decent human being that ran Vice was Gavin. Everybody else there was a piece of shit. That's why they're woke now, because they had to cover up all their fucking scandals and shit from when they were. They brought some.
Their options
Yeah,
were
when they were
limited,
just the
but-
magazine, there was some wild. I remember that.
Oh, our
magazine.
buddy was just you were
Wild
bringing up
shit going
Andre. So he was bringing this up.
Yeah, our friend was just
before
on
we
this
talked. You
Vice
just
thing.
ran into Andre, and
Yeah.
But Andre Kim was on the Vice masculinity panel. Fuck. I think I want to play this actually.
They had a masculinity panel. That's masculine.
But the best part about it, so they did
gonna play it.
They did a woman one and a guy one. The woman one is just all of them bickering and
I saw it,
yelling
yeah.
at each other. The guys one is just so civil. They're all just like respecting each
Like,
other's
say your
viewpoints,
piece.
getting along. They probably all had beers afterwards.
Yeah,
and
the
the
idea-
chicks are just like,
listen,
fuck you.
the idea of gender solidarity is so fucking insane.
I
And,
saw a really good guy moment the other day where it's two dudes fighting at a gas station, and every time one dude fell down, the other dude would be like, "Get back up," and then they would beat the shit out of each other. And at one point, he was like, "I'm good." And he was like, "All right, bro," and they fucking hit like that. I was like,
It does.
"Dude,
Great
That's,
stuff.
that's
Yeah,
what
that
dude, testosterone does that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you, it makes people more fair.
It's like
That's what
you-
they
Yeah.
find in studies. Not
Yeah.
aggressive.
Well, someone actually said this to
Fair.
me recently.
Interesting.
That you know who it was, but I won't like say his name here. But he was saying that like someone that he knew that was like trans, and they were like more depressed, but they were saying they were like really depressed, and they were having like memory loss issues, and you know
Jesus.
all this kind of stuff, right? And he was like, "Gil, let me ask you a question. Like, are you on testosterone blockers?" And they're like, "Yeah, testosterone was all blocked," and it was like. Yeah, that's like if you're a dude and you're just like take away all your testosterone, like all this bad stuff happens to you. And that's never even like crossed my mind.
Yeah, your
That if-
chemistry's
terrible
fucked up.
stuff like
Dude,
becoming a woman.
These studies, but the studies on all these hormones and shit. They've already experimented on people in the bodybuilding world, so we already know what happens.
They've run every test in that world, I'm sure.
So you already know what happened. And then people that were on testosterone, and then they go out and their body stops making it, and it's fucked up. It's like really,
Yeah.
It's really weird the connection of like transitioning and bodybuilding because a lot of the same chemicals are being used on people.
Hell yeah! Remember the Jim
Oh.
Carrey, the character he did on The Living Color, the bodybuilder?
Oh, yeah,
Remember, and it
right.
was like a dude, and then you're like, but they all do like look. Like the
Well, that was
crazy
based
stuff.
on all the Eastern European countries were giving little girls testosterone
Yeah,
to
like
make them
East
better.
Germany or whatever.
That's where that weird stereotype of like the Eastern Bloc woman that's all.
Well, no, it's
beefy.
because they were
Oh.
cheated. When Germany was 2 or whatever, like the communist one, I think it was East Germany. They were like so doped up, like they were winning everything, but
Dude,
all their chicks
yeah.
look like dudes.
Yeah.
all-
Just
they
destroying the
basically-
javelin throw.
Dude, they
Everything's
they
like-
transition their female teams into men
before-
with chemicals to win the fucking medals.
Well,
dude.
because there was fucking Bobby Green, this UFC fighter, who made a claim that all these there's all these Dagestani guys who are like dominating right now, like Khabib and that whole era of guys. He's like, they're getting. We don't know if this is true, but he's saying they're being fed roids from young ages to build them into these machines,
and then they stop taking them
and then
after.
so then it's not going to show up later.
but it's the
And-
muscle. What
That's
is it? The
pretty
muscle
common.
memory.
Well,
and
because
the-
you adult, so that you have this baseline of like superhuman strength, you're going to be a beast.
then your body's like, I guess I can shrink your balls down.
And balls don't get.
basically he this like was going viral right and left to the point where other people were sending it to me being like, yo, this is your boy, right? So he went on the Vice Masculinity Panel and he walked out. I'll just play the thing that like keeps going viral.
Okay.
The woman being like, "Oh, this sucks. I might get murdered," is like a pretty big.
That was the one non-binary one.
Yeah, that was the non-binary chick.
I was once dated.
You
I
never
met some
ne-
chick.
to be
we
honest,
fucked, and
I've never-
I paid for things because we've like. You don't
I've
even have
never
to do
done that either, though. So that's the one side of it with Andre was like, yeah, well, he was trying to be funny too because
Yeah.
he's like, then I'll steal your girl, and then there's guys being like, finally someone said it, like.
Yeah.
Like
I do know what he means about the dating thing because I feel like that too. Where I'm like, I've never like a girl that I don't know gone and met her at a restaurant and like sat there and ordered.
You got the receipts. If she's like, Ryan did this to me. Actually, I have 8 witnesses.
that's
that can prove
listen.
that this
That's the
did
same
happen.
thing Jedediah did, and his
Yeah.
marriage is still strong.
going strong. He's like, I got to do this Vice thing, and I'm like, we're like, dude, this is gonna be the.
I walked out on this thing, and in my mind, I think I probably was telling people, or at least like a few people, they're like, yeah, apparently Andre had enough advice, and he stormed out. And then I finally talked to him. He was like, it was more just it was 3 hours. He was like, I didn't want to be there. It wasn't paid.
Yeah.
It just went on. And then we took a lunch. It was 1.5 hour lunch, and I was eating my lunch. And then like they kept trying to film me for their vlog. I thought it was like political.
No, that's how they edit
He
it.
had just
though.
had
Yeah.
enough.
Dude,
Yeah. He lives in New
Take that.
York, and he just went and slept in the room to get his payment.
to get his
Yeah.
money's worth.
Vice is one. In fact, everything for not giving people raises, just giving them a class ring.
Yeah, the ring. Yeah, the Vice.
The height of hipster days.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Like, as soon as you that,
What is the W word?
you know what it is. It rhymes with joke, but I don't want to say it.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
It's always low pay, some kind of like exploitation, borderline slavery.
Oh, 100%. I was talking to this girl, and she was like,
Because
oh,
you're getting paid in points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're getting good boy points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stickers on your notebook.
It's almost,
Yeah.
you know,
Good
that's
boy
like
points.
that became a crypto pretty early.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was talking to this girl and she was like, "Oh, I just got this new job. They have like a cat shirt Monday." I was like, "That screams of a place where they won't give you a raise but a pizza party." That's exactly what you're gonna get at that place. Yeah.
It's really, people are fucking chumps. Like
Yeah.
when all the shit that your social media, you know, we're going to check your social media before you get hired. So now the whole thing is you never are punched out.
For sure.
Your whole life better fucking reflect well on the corporation you work for, and you don't have any you time. You're a brand.
Yeah,
you're not even a man. You're not even a man. You're a brand.
You work at, you work at Arby's. You represent the brand.
Yeah,
You're an influencer for Arby's.
Like a cow gets branded. You don't even get to be a cow. You're the fucking thing on the cow.
I would be a Kobe.
That's
beef
where we're
cow.
at.
You be a Kobe cow?
Yeah, like
Wagyu?
if like next life I got to be a Kobe cow, I'd be like, oh, that's sick.
Well, those are the fun. They
Yeah,
get massages and read
you
them a
get
story.
massages, you get music, stories, and candy,
Yeah.
and then they kill you. When if like some cows, they bring them to
Quick death.
slaughter, they're like, "Don't kill me." I'd be like, "Fucking sick." I'd be like, "Yo, thank you, please eat me."
I got a
man."
jet.
Got a
I gotta
jet?
go to the bonfire.
Okay.
Dude, thanks for having me.
We're
on.
gonna keep it
Shay,
going.
good to meet you, brother.
Kurt's gonna rip out. Also, me and Kurt have a sketch coming out next Monday.
Dealing with an important topic.
Are we
I felt.
rapping here and going to Patreon or?
No, we're gonna keep going for a second. Yeah, we only we're good for a second, but Kurt showed up an hour and a half late, so.
Put us a little behind the 8 ball.
Oh, Kurt, the best is Kurt messaged me being like, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be late, hour and a half late. And he was like, yeah, there's like an ambulance that was like, in front of us driving slow. I was like, doesn't explain an hour and a half.
Dude, we're doing a bit right now about how everyone lies to themselves when they tell their truth to their phone. Like, I wish you could just get your algorithm in your fucking phone. Like every time you go to your spouse or whatever and you're like, you bullshit them, your phone's like, no, I know what you did.
Wait, I don't get it. Say it again.
Like, it's like when you hear those stories, like someone says like, oh, hey, they've been together for 20 years, and the guy's like, oh, I'm gay now, and then he leaves. Every time that happens, Google's like, I knew.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew the whole time, man.
Oh, like
Yeah.
Minority Report or whatever,
Yeah.
where you're like, dude, if they could like take AI,
Go in the
and-
middle of you.
Oh yeah.
if they could take AI and then put it through all of your like socials ever,
Oh,
or all your like search history, all your data on your phone, and they'll be like, yeah, this dude's.
Well, like,
I mean, they're probably gay porn on there.
You know, like what's it called? Here, I'll get on the fucking mic for this.
There's your thing in the middle of that.
Oh, that's it. That's me. Fucking Netflix. They have different tiles depending on who they think you are.
What
Like,
do you mean tiles?
so the image it shows you to make you watch the show.
Yeah.
Over here?
Different thumbnails.
Yeah, different thumbnails.
Really?
So like they have like I heard about a person who was making a show on Netflix. I was listening to some podcast and they were like, "Oh, what would you like for tiles?" And they had some suggestions and they're like, "Oh, we don't know about that." And they're like, "We are very strict on our tiles because that is the thumbnail that grabs you."
Mm-hmm.
So if they think you're a straight man or straight woman or a gay man or gay woman or anything in between,
Sure.
they'll give you different tiles because that is going to seduce you into watching the show differently.
Interesting.
And they're very specific.
That's
about that.
interesting.
I do like actually logging in, like sometimes like logging in my girlfriend's to see like how different her Netflix experience.
looks-
You know what I would love actually? I've thought is I would love like
no gay shit on hers.
I would love like a Twitter or like an Instagram where you can straight up like pick like an archetype of a person and then that's what your like Twitter experience
Yeah.
is. Like I could be like, I want to honestly be like, pretend I'm just like whatever, like a super libtard guy. Show
Yeah.
me what that guy's Twitter
I
looks
want like a Capitol Stormers Twitter.
Yeah, totally. Like give me like the QAnon Jan 6th Twitter, like new set of followers,
Yes.
like new experience entirely.
Like a
You're
whole
right. Because
yeah.
you have to work so hard to get that algorithm. You're like,
Oh,
what does it look like if I just get that algorithm?
yeah, I wanna
What is
be a
what is a
different
mom?
person.
What is like a mom from Texas's
Totally,
Twitter look
yes.
like?
Exactly.
My
that would be
best-
so good.
My best algorithm is my Instagram. My Instagram algorithm is fucking like
Fine-tuned.
It's so fine tuned. It's like street fight videos, UFC knockouts, and then just like chicks working out in the gym. That's like my whole. You go to my search page. That's all. It's some chick who has like good traps, and I'm like, yeah. And then some dude gets punched from behind by like a McDonald's worker. I'm like, yo, that's the whole feed, man. It's sick.
I feel like Instagram screws me because I feel like you would follow probably like female porn stars and like thoughts and whatever, right?
Yeah.
I would maybe like a few, but like really a tiny percentage of what I follow, right?
Yeah.
And I still get like all the suggested is that, so it'll show you like a video of a girl, and it's one of those.
they know you deep down.
It's like they're saying they know you, but it's a scam because if you watch it for more than a second, they're like, we got you
got
loud and
you.
clear, and you're like, yeah, but take what I follow somewhat into consideration because I don't want.
But they know the truth.
But it makes Instagram for me less fun because the truth is, yeah, you might look at it. Like, this is one of those things as a guy. Listen, if you show me like a hot girl with her tits out, it's like, yes, I'll probably slow down and look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also might just go on Instagram a little less.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I never
They're
see anything
willing
funny.
to-
I never see anything good. All I see is like tits, and you're just like, okay, I guess, yes. Fine, I'll look at this one. But like, I'm not.
They're calling your fucking bluff though on that one, Ryan. Ryan's like, well, Instagram, I might go on your platform a little less, and they go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, and he's like
Dude,
looking at this
go
pair of
for it.
tits, like he's like pausing it, trying to get like a moment where her nip slips out. Okay, I'll rewatch, and if I pause right here, how do I download an Instagram video? I need to scrub this one.
Or is it
Oh, yeah,
Ryan's
heaven forbid Instagram shows
Ryan's
you a
literally
foot
like,
video.
Ryan's just like, you just lost a customer.
If you get a foot video on your feed, scroll past that as quickly as possible.
I don't need to be in these algorithms. Dude, fucking Cameron's staying with me for a few days. Cameron Phoenix. He's visiting me, and he calls it sexual inflation. He's like, he doesn't do anything too crazy sexually because he's like, once you up the ante, you can't go back.
Yeah.
You have to keep upping the ante
sure.
to get to. That's what happened with this cop.
Chasing the dragon.
She's chasing the dragon, had to get fucked by like 5 dudes, and then that's that. Now she's national news.
So his thing is like, if I keep it missionary, I'll never crave anything more than missionary.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need to look at feet. I don't need to look at feet.
Yeah.
I had a chick jerk me off with her feet, and I was like, is this in the mix?
Now I'm this guy now.
It was non-requested. She just started doing it, and I was like, all right. I was like, well, let's not let this one cook for too long.
You're right though, because you don't want to bake that into your head where you're like, oh, now I'm this guy.
Yeah, now I'm a foot guy, and now I got to fucking look at feet. I got to buy socks. Like, what the fuck is this whole process?
It's just like literally just a classic, like basically addiction almost. Like
Yeah.
you're just like, I'm addicted to this drug. I need to keep taking more, and the harder version of it.
But the thing about pussy is like, if you're addicted to heroin,
thing about pussy is
Podcasting.
if you're addicted,
Let me tell you something about
because if you're addicted to heroin, you got to go see a guy. You got to go to a dark alley. You got to go through all these steps to get it. If I'm addicted to pussy, it's in my pocket, man.
it's a tough one.
It's in my face.
Yeah, I don't
every
think
day.
heroin guys just like look at pictures of heroin.
No, I'm like, I can't.
you have
get
to
away from
honestly
it.
like put parental controls on your Instagram. Like legitimately throw the parental controls on yourself.
How do you do that?
It's just like probably like if you have, because I think you need to be 13 years old is the minimum for Instagram. So there's like, if you have a 13-year-old kid, you're like, I'm not just giving you unfettered
No, but
access.
where's the parental controls?
It's in there. They just
And you give the
nobody
code to a
wants
buddy. You go like, "Can you put the parental
Yeah,
controls?" So I
totally.
don't know
Tell me the code.
Yeah.
it. 100%.
Yo, that's so
Dude,
funny.
I gave my girlfriend my two-factor.
He put parental controls on her.
I gave my girlfriend my two-factor authentication code on my Instagram, so then I can just log out and I can't log in without.
Wow,
getting the code from her.
that is how you gotta be like, please, may I have some?
No, I don't even do it. Like I honestly still don't even.
That
do
has, it has
much.
nothing to do with Instagram. I just, it
She
gets
just-
me hard when I have to beg for things.
That has nothing to do with Instagram. I'm just a bitch.
Danny's like, yeah, man, and just a thing I've been doing, like just to watch Instagram. Unless I gave my girlfriend all my passwords and codes.
Her idea.
No, I got it from Ari actually, because that's what Ari does.
Okay.
I heard Ari on a podcast.
Oh, you put her phone number as the code.
Yeah, it's her phone number. Like she can't log into my thing, but I need her. I just need the 6-digit code that
I
it sends to her phone. to
Wouldn't
get
in my wildest dreams give the chick I was dating any sort of access.
There's
to
no
my
access.
Instagram.
There's no access. She can't
She's
get
like,
it.
don't worry.
I
she's not
think she
getting
might
it.
have access
Dude,
now.
ain't no fucking rube, pal.
Like, did you hear about the Shakira thing? Her like she found
Sort
out,
of. What happened?
So she found her husband was cheating on her.
She said the jam was how she knew.
Because he hates eating jam, so she went in the like when she went home, she saw that the jam was gone. She's like, "Who the fuck was in here eating jam?" I'm sure there was.
Why
other
isn't
things.
there one fucking famous female detective in the world with that shit like that?
Yeah, it's like that.
why hasn't there been like
Because
one?
they're
like,
solving this bullshit
I
instead.
guess, but like that's like pretty clever.
Very clever.
Yeah, but like, couldn't it have just been like a dude friend that was over? The guy's like, yeah, my brother was over. He likes jam.
Probably didn't think on his feet that fast.
Yeah, he's like,
I actually just thought I might like it this time.
She goes, "Who ate the jam?" And he goes, he like just 1 second pause.
Yeah,
He goes, it was my.
I like got your bitch.
And he goes, done. He knew it. He goes, it was my done. That's
But
it.
that's like, I heard that for one. It's like,
Peace.
have a good one, Kurt. He could have said anything else, but also, how fucking if you're a multimillionaire dude, You're not bringing chicks back to the house. There's gonna leave evidence: fake eyelashes, nails, hair.
It didn't make
all that
sense
shit.
to me, the story, really.
I was like, there had to be other.
It was like the
shit.
Andrew
Yeah,
Tate
but you
pizza
know-
box. I wasn't buying it.
Yeah, but you know
Oh,
what?
really?
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
if you're probably fucking Shakira, you're probably like you're getting overconfident about
Yeah,
life. Like I don't know
yeah.
who he is.
He slipped up.
He's just as like, dude, my wife is Shakira. Like I'm invincible.
That's what I thought. I thought I'm like, he got too cocky. He got too careless. You can't be out cheating like that. You gotta fucking compartmentalize the cheating.
Yeah.
Like you see these guys who get caught on the Jumbotron. What are you going
I
to do?
saw
after-
the thing you posted,
Yeah.
and that's the classic,
It's
man.
like you can't react. You got to be
No.
like, just fucking. This is me with my
Yeah,
girl.
sure.
I'm not. Yeah.
I mean, what are you supposed to do, really?
I don't know. You're not supposed to bring.
How did that go viral? Because it's clear what was going on. there.
Exactly.
Jumbotron catches are my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. They're like "Ugh," when they do one of those.
Yeah.
Those happen all the time now.
But that is like, yeah, you get a little too confident. You start making a jam sandwiches after sex.
But then also, it's like,
But so sorry. So what? And then what happened with the Shakira thing?
well, she just was like, "Who's eating this jam?" And then it fucking snowballed from there. Maybe that was just I don't know if that was the center point. I haven't gotten so deep into it to like put have the.
And then she already wrote a song about how it's like, you didn't even deserve me. Like,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
already.
sure.
Yeah, she's got a whole press tour based on how she left this guy in the dust.
Yeah, so it could just be a marketing scheme. Pretty smart. Mm-hmm. Could be a lemonade.
See, that guy like Cameron went too far.
Yeah.
Shakira's wife and then her husband, and then he's like, even Shakira's not doing it for me anymore.
He needs to fuck every random chick.
Shakira's probably demanding during sex too, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm the idiot banging Shakira where I have to perform, and then this other girl, she's banging Shakira's husband. So it's like, now I'm the guy that I'll do what I want.
Exactly.
Have sex with jam while I'm eating jam.
She thinks I don't even like this, and he's just
But-
fucking wolfing down jam.
But this was this is the Vice story.
Oh, we haven't even gotten the story
So
yet.
yeah, no, these episodes are a little all over the place, but
Oh, he's a big football player.
Who?
Footballer. Shakira's husband.
oh, he's a big.
I was just
okay.
wondering if he's some chomp.
He's not.
Oh, no, no,
nobody.
he's like-
I would have assumed he's
played
some
for
rich guy.
No, he played for Barcelona.
He's like a star. He's like a
Star soccer
king
player.
in Spain.
Oh, so he doesn't give two shits about any of this stuff.
No.
And
He's
he's
like,
10 years younger than her.
dude, he came to the divorce meeting. In that song, she said he drives like a PK or something, some shitty kind of car.
Well, that's his name.
Oh, is that his
That's
name?
his last
She,
name's PK.
she said he drives some sort of like shit car now that you divorced me. And he showed up to the divorce meeting in that car being like, hey, yeah, I'm fucking driving the car. Huh? Fuck you.
Yeah, this guy's a G.
yeah. No, he's cool.
Yeah, and next time, he's now the girls come over. He's like, you can have all the jam you want. We're not playing that game
No
anymore.
jam rations.
The jam rations are over. Do whatever you want. Dump the old bitch.
Yeah. Holy. Next guest on the Boys Cast, BK.
Gay.
Okay, well they did. This was the Vice story. They did. Okay, it was how to have sex with a fat guy guide.
Yes.
And
listening.
not gonna say it, but Danny's girlfriend sent me the article.
She's like, it works.
But it was the girl who wrote it. It was a girl who wrote an article how to have sex with a fat girl, and then the funny part was she wrote the how to have sex with a fat girl article, and it kind of went viral. And they're like, "What's your next article?" And she didn't have anything in the can, so and 6 months later, she was like, "How about to have sex with a fat guy?" And basically just said the fat girl article things again.
Oh, she does the only two she's got.
Maybe
Bit of
she
a
had
one
couple
trick
others.
pony.
My favorite Jay thing that you say is when the idea of him being like, he makes all these videos and he puts like big girls in the videos and stuff, and people would be like, you're celebrating positivity because you would have sex with those girls, and he's like, I'm just a pervert.
It is wild. They think I'm like they'll be like, oh, you're so great. Thank you for saying these things. I'm like, I will fuck anyone. Do you have a pulse? I will fuck you. I don't
gross.
care. Yeah.
I feel like you have the thing too where someone would be like, oh, you're like black guy, you like bigger girls. You're like, I don't even think it's that.
No, it's not even that. As I'll fuck skinny chicks. I don't give a shit. You be short. You got a peg leg. I don't know. Just get in, dude.
No, I'm gross.
I'm gross. Because good pussy doesn't come from like being hot. I fuck plenty of hot chicks, and sometimes they have the worst pussy.
I don't know. I never get this, like that whole line of talking. I don't get it.
What? No, that
To me, I prefer the hotter
They're all
ones.
just queens.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, to me, I don't think there's one better than the other because they're all tense.
No,
to me, it would be like, I do actually think, I don't think that I've ever done stuff with like a super gross chick and a super hot chick and been like, yeah, the vagina was better on the.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
No, I've literally, dude.
I'd rather be
I
looking
agree.
at a hot girl,
100%.
right?
Yeah, I'd rather be the hot chick who's just doing nothing than
Oh,
like,
no,
a
I
super
can't.
into
Me
it
too.
gross chick,
I
yeah.
can't. No. I'm too. It's too like cerebral for me. Like I need you to
in my
need
head.
it. Like I need you to need to be a whore, or like a hot girl who's kind of like, fuck me. I'm like, this is fucking doing nothing, man. I'd rather fuck a girl.
Easier to get and like you have to do way less stuff for. That's my thing. A famous guy that your thing is like not hot chick.
His comment section, and it's just all these
The king of the six.
King of the
You're the
six,
real
man.
king of the.
I called it the summer of sevens. I was like, I'm only fucking sevens all summer. All summer.
And you're
so
counting down.
each one they get worse.
It's a delicate.
Delicate.
You can't even. We don't even be able to bang hot girls either.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, then
Because
I'm
you're like, yo, you bang the six god, and you're
Yeah,
like, but I'm not
a
a.
sick.
like the guy that doesn't know he's retarded when he looks in the mirror. That's the girl.
I'm retarded. That's such a good clip.
That's amazing.
That's Jay figuring. That's a girl that Jay banged figuring out she's a six. You're like in the bathroom, like putting some. You just took a shower, putting some clothes on, and she's looking through your thing. Just like it's all these memes about how you only bang sixes. Your like podcast clips of sixes only.
Yeah.
They do not cross this line if you're higher than the six. She's sitting in her bed on her phone. What?
Like, hey, you want to get brunch or something?
She looks in the mirror.
I'm a six.
You've got to share the six god. All the clues were there.
She's looking around.
I thought you liked Drake.
Oh no. I'm the real six god.
You're the six god. Is that because you're from Toronto? You're like, I am actually from there, but no.
Yeah.
Coincidental.
Cool. Let's talk about this later.
But yeah, there's just the whole thing was like that she wrote this whole article, and in the thing she was basically being like, if you're having sex with a fat girl, don't be afraid to touch their fat. And she's like saying, she goes, sometimes use their belly as a third tit. Like she says that. That's where I'm saying, have you ever done the gross shit like that?
No, I mean, I have a bit right now about how eating out a fat chick is different than eating out a skinny girl.
It's grosser,
I'm like,
yeah.
well,
That's
like
good.
eating.
You find more.
That's enjoyable.
You
yeah.
find more stuff down there.
Yeah. There's crumbs and all these different things.
This is a mustard packet.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What do we got going on here? It's like a full receipt for like Taco Bell. Fucking
That's like the Walgreens, like the super long
Yeah.
one. It's just like a fucking mile long receipt.
oh man.
The fat guy union knows this girl huge though, putting out that
Oh,
propaganda.
yeah.
But the funniest part that was making me laugh for this is what the thing is was making me laugh. I know Danny, you have to be the go-to guy here, but
Yeah.
because it's important to leave all assumptions at the door. It might fool you, or you might miss out on the deepest dicking of your life. I love
That
the
is
idea.
figuratively deep. I think.
I love the idea of like a really fat guy carrying this article around with him. But she's like, yeah, I'm really not interested in you. You might be the deepest dick in your life.
You're reading the printout on the subway,
Yeah.
like the fucking.
Yeah, you're just like casual. Like, do you guys check this out? Crazy article.
crazy story,
Crazy.
yeah.
I would have known.
You might miss out on the deepest dicking of your life. As the mastermind behind the popular How to Have Sex with a Fat Girl guide, has the girl ever gave you that guide?
Well, this is no, I just know instinctively. I'm like, shows this guide. I'm like, yeah, old news.
You guessed it. A fat guy has come with the same guide for the caliber of men. All the tips and tricks. Some boys just are okay. So this is some of the first things that they say. You gotta. It's guy to guy because some boys aren't into having their tits played with. So you gotta make sure that the fat guy you're dating is into having his tits played with.
Oh
so.
yeah.
Love it. Danny's
Dan-
on board. Yeah.
Are,
He's eating it up.
Are you one of the guys that likes having his tits sucked?
I'm not a nipple guy. I'm not.
No?
I don't think it does anything one way or the other for me.
I think it's.
But you've never met a thing you don't like, though.
Yeah, that's like your challenge almost. Is
Yeah.
like to find someone where you go,
Like-
all right, that's it. That's my line.
The one thing,
Are you like curious where your line is?
No, the one thing I don't like, I'm not super into butt stuff. I have fucked girls in their asses. That's
Yeah.
fine. Anything poo related, it's like that's like I don't really like fucking girls in
That
their
is
ass
interesting that
because
is
that I'm like I
problematic
don't
for you.
Yeah, this one girl, she was like, no one's ever
The
fucked-
gross cast. No, but I know that you're grosser because like you started doing the like TikToks that you were responding to with the gross stuff, and I can't watch that stuff. Like some guys like pussy toenail or something.
Oh, dude,
like
I
to
love
me,
that, yeah.
honest to God,
Oh yeah,
makes
the one
me
with the
gag.
cow.
Yeah, dude, the cow booger, and there's like
That
the
shit
fucking.
makes me like gag.
Oh, I love that shit.
How,
yeah, like zit
though?
popping and stuff. Sometimes.
Yeah, that would be an example.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I specifically like blackheads. I don't like whiteheads. Like I
That's
like-
so crazy to have a genre within the genre of gross stuff that you're into.
I like it. It's satisfying. It's like you're getting the bad out. Get it out. Get it out. No,
I
yeah.
can't watch that stuff.
No, I love it. I love it, man. I
That's
don't
any
even-
time that stuff gets into my algorithm, I throw my phone in the fucking water and start over.
It's just good. It's good. It's like a cleansing. Oh, is it's mine. This guy's mine.
What annoys me the most is when I'm in bed with a guy and they only focus on my fat areas, under my belly, for example, exposing a common issue for fat shaggers, the fat fetishist. So that's definitely that's Che for sure.
One time I hooked up with this big girl, and after we hooked up, she was like, she came really hard, and she was like kind of shaking and stuff. And I didn't even think about this, but I like kind of slapped
This guy's
her on
always
the-
wondering why he can't get his YouTube kicking with fucking Mr. Age restriction.
Come over to Rumble.
I slap her kind of on the belly. I was like, hey, you good? And she's like, don't ever touch my stomach like that. Yeah.
You slapped her on the
I didn't
belly?
even think- I was just kind of like, hey, you good, man?
Man, yeah, probably the man is.
But I didn't even
Was
think
the
about
real
it.
issue.
She was like, I just put on like a lot of weight recently. She's like, have you ever put on a lot of weight before? And I was like, no. I'm like, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to offend.
That's so funny. So she did not want the belly touch.
She did not want me to like tap her on the belly like a good dog or something. Like,
You ever done a girl that kept her shirt on that big?
No.
Okay.
Why have you?
No, but I've seen once where there's a fat girl and she kept a pillow on her the whole time in the video.
Really?
Yeah, which is like pretty hilarious.
Wow,
What
that's
video?
wild.
That was just like a thing. No. It was on the internet, Daniel. Not that I looked up, just came into my feed. But no, I just like it was like hilarious to me that she had kept the pillow there because the girl wasn't even that fat, but I guess she had
So self-conscious.
stomach or something. Yeah, and I was like, that's hilarious. Just have
it's
the
like-
pillow there the whole
You're
time.
doing a porno, man. Let it loose, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do one more thing on this because me and Kurt actually did a sketch about this, but it was sort of on the the Andre thing. But it's like because there's a lot of articles right now, and I feel like it's almost a little bit with when I see all the arguments between like feminists and red pill stuff. It really kind of reminds me that just like feminism was just an audit on everything.
Yeah.
Like it really reminds you of like your girls like, you know, hey, you're doing this too much, and you're like, okay, let's put on who's doing what too much. You know what I mean? It's kind of like so everything sort of got
Yeah,
audited.
You're sitting on the subway wrong. You're fucking You're talking to me wrong. You're answering your phone too much. Whatever the fuck.
And it was 2 years of people being like, okay. And then it was being like, well, if you think about it, you're doing this too much, right?
Yeah.
It was like it's like, well, the first thing that obviously was the first one when girls were kind of like, men do this and this and this. And it was like, yes, when we pay for stuff more. That was probably the first people being like, then why am I paying for stuff more if everything's whatever, right? But then, so now it's going back and forth. Now it kind of is almost back to like just how it should be. It's like, yeah, girls are complaining about their things and guys being like, well, that's not a real thing. And actually you do this.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of articles coming out about why guys are too cheap and like don't date a guy that does this because he's cheap, and a lot of them are pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
So we did a video that's coming out Monday being like the girls have cheap phobia, and it's like all the things that. But this is a list of all the things girls say. Avoid this guy because he's too cheap.
Okay.
Just great.
And I feel like, do you have any? What's a?
You met him at synagogue.
And I was kind of.
You just caught him walking out of the synagogue in Midtown.
Do you have any life hacks? I would say before you even start this, which are the things that you do that are like cheap things that you get away with on a date? Like what's a
Cheap
way
things
to
get away with on a date?
or with a girlfriend, anything like that.
I don't.
I think one of the, I wasn't even gonna say this, but like I think that probably the first thing is the hardest part to do is you can't go too big too early on and set a
for
precedent.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, you got to start small. Picnic is
know.
great.
Yeah, like if you think you're gonna be like, oh, first
That's
date
on their list.
Yeah, like
Oh,
first
yeah?
date idea. Let's go to like Carbone, and you're like, well, you ain't ever coming back from that, dude.
Yeah, no.
That's a tough one.
But you have sort of a problem because you like that sort of fancy.
well, I like
schmancy
it. It's not a
stuff.
problem because I do like it. It's a problem for you because you're like you go there and you hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I just don't like it any more or less.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But then you factor
Actually, I do like it less, but I
That's
don't
the
hate
thing.
it.
Well, you like it less because of the money, but like
No, I don't like it less because of the money. I like it less because like I don't like
don't
the
like-
fancy schmancy
Yeah,
environment.
you don't like putting on airs. and
I'm
then-
just a normal guy,
Yeah,
you know.
just-
I'm just your average red-blooded guy.
Of course, you go to like the nicest restaurant in New York. You go, can I get a can of beans?
That's another thing. Yeah, if you want to put like ketchup on something, they like scoff at you.
Ketchup. What's wrong
Someone
with
did
ketchup?
that guy Fahim Anwar had the funniest joke. He already posted it, but it was like something along the lines of like you go to a fancy restaurant and it's like the waiters also act like they're fancy and you're like, well, you're not rich.
Yeah.
And they're, you know what I mean? Because it is true. The waiters are kind of like,
Like, saying everything in this
oh
proper
yeah,
way.
like you don't even know that, and you're like, you're not rich either though.
It's like, don't you have roommates?
Yeah, what are you scoffing at me for?
Dude, yeah, no, the money saving stuff, I think I'm big on like, oh, let's walk to the next thing. Like that's part of the adventure.
In February.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, bring a coat. We'll start at a place and we'll walk to another place and walk to another place. We're not Ubering anywhere. We're not fucking or
So you save money like that,
Oh,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
like literally won't over, and you'd make it like because it's cooler.
Oh yeah, it's like, well, we're seeing the city.
Yeah,
we're
it's
going
New York.
around.
It's a walk-in
I want-
city.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna show you a bunch of places I like along the way.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, but I'm gonna get all sweaty, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah. You're damn right you will.
Damn right. So the ones they go, the ones he's not into Hallmark holidays. So any guy that says that, have you ever said that?
That's a Hallmark holiday.
like saying like
Valentine's
this is they are
holidays.
giving away scams a little bit. I'm sure Chat GPT could come up with this bad boy
Yeah.
too. But basically that one is you basically say like I don't like to celebrate birthdays and Valentine's Day because I'm not like a slave to the man.
Yeah, the Matrix.
The
It's-
Matrix,
I'm not a
yeah.
bot, so I don't celebrate fucking Valentine's.
Yeah, no, I don't like these corporate entities, and I don't support what they believe in. Yeah.
Yes. And that one I get like I'm never have the guts to be like I'm not doing Valentine's Day, or they go forget wallet. Like forgetting wallets like the balls.
No, forgetting wallet
Yeah.
is crazy.
That's like,
Yeah.
That's like, especially since the Tinder swindler came out, like you can't be like.
And
I
also,
forgot
it's
my
like
wallet.
you can have your wallet in your phone now. You can pay with
Yeah,
Apple
you got to
Pay
be
and all these
forgetting.
things.
Like literally, you got to be like, well, I got robbed on my way over here, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's horrible. You still want to go on the date? And it's like, yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
And more
I do.
than never,
Like, more
actually.
than ever. I'm so shaken up. The only thing that can.
I need something to calm my nerves right now, sweetheart.
But the other ones they start getting to do, he checks for coupons, and it was like, that's not crazy to have a coupon.
No, the coupon one, I did see that, and I was like, man, to be like, oh, well, it's what's going to make it more affordable? It's like, that's makes perfect sense.
Yeah, there's a point. I remember like my buddy, Waldo, like we legitimately go to a Arby's and he's like outside on his phone trying to go on all the coupon sites. And you're like, yeah, this is pushing it.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
since he makes good money.
And it's also, it's like, that's going to cost you what, like $15 or something?
It does, but like, okay, if you're on a first date, pulling out a coupon's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
But if this is a
Crazy,
girl
yeah.
you're dating, it's like, yeah, if I have a coupon, I'm using a coupon.
Well, because
like a gift certificate. If you go to the movies and you have a gift certificate of the movies, I go, I'm just supposed to not use that?
Yeah. The problem is a lot of girls are like demented, and then no, they are, but they're like, yeah, like the money spent is. Like a representation or like an evaluation of them. So they go like, oh, you're cheaping out here. That means like you see me lower. And you're like, that makes no sense.
You do a little bit have to not tell them you're using the coupon. Like if you buy something with a gift certificate, in their mind they'll be like, "Oh, it was free, so this doesn't count
Yeah,
as
this
something
doesn't
you
count.
bought to
You
me."
go,
And you go,
"Whoa."
"No. How?
that was on the balance sheet.
That's
lady.
on the
That was-
balance sheet for sure." Yeah.
That's on the balance sheet. That could have gone to me.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
sending
yeah.
it to you.
Yeah, I'm poorer now
Oh
on
my
paper.
God, that's
so.
fucking jokes. I do like how in this this article, it did say that they're like, you know, we've come to a time where it's normal for women to pay for stuff, but a man should still be paying for everything. Yeah.
Totally, yes.
Like-
They'll never give that up.
Yeah, it's like, wait. Well, we are equal now, but
Do you know what also the difference is like they don't, I feel like girls don't realize this, but it's the truth where they can say like, you know, body positivity, but it's like all the hotter girls are still going to get like richer dudes and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Whereas like guys, they don't play this game where, so if you were just like, oh yeah, like it's everything's equal now. All it would take for one guy to be like, yeah, I'll just pay for everything, and he just puts himself above every
Of course,
single
well,
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes like, I got lots of money.
Yeah, okay, well, oh, you guys are all equal now? I'll be the one guy in the whole world that pays for stuff.
Scab
still.
is what it's called.
And when you look at the body positivity thing, it's like, okay, yeah, Calvin Klein has like a fat chick in underwear. And you're like, okay. But then you look at who's the most popular chicks on Instagram who has like the most following. It's like, we got the data. We got
Yeah,
the
for
fucking
sure.
data.
It really sort of did put like the internet put a big skew into their whole thing because you have like you go, who's the girl that has like 80 million followers? Like
Yeah.
that chick ain't the
Lizzo.
same girl. That isn't the Down syndrome girl on the Victoria's
The
Secret or
Down
whatever.
syndrome Victoria's Secret girl.
It's just not. Although maybe it is. I don't
Chicks
know.
are rocket.
And also, it goes against the whole like body positivity thing. It's like, oh, beauty's not the most important thing. It's not most important to be beautiful, but it's like
Should be when you're a model.
but they
be
still
part of it.
scale it all.
If you're
It's
trying
like,
to sell that, yeah.
It's like, then why are we sexualizing someone with Down syndrome? Like, what?
yeah, that's
like,
even way grosser.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's not that important to be beautiful, but this chick with Downs, you'd fuck her, right?
Yeah.
You'd
We can
fuck
all
her.
agree she's the hottest one in the world, right?
Yeah, most fuckable Downy.
that is wild. Yeah. But yeah, that's
Show
why.
me a hotter one.
That's why the girls will always still have those things because all it takes is for one guy to cross. And that was even what I was saying about Andre's thing a little bit, which I've said to him because he was like, you have to do all this stuff. And it was like, then don't. I don't know. It's a competitive marketplace.
Yeah.
There is like, then don't spend that money, but you just know there's some guy that has. So you got to, the trick isn't being like, I'm going to try to date these girls that want like a $200 date on a first date. The trick is to find your niche of a girl that doesn't want that.
Exactly.
If you're gonna be going out with a girl that's that's looking for a fancy boy, and you're trying to compete, you're just gonna get demoed.
Yeah.
I don't. If a girl's like, oh, I think that like gym rat dudes are so hot, I go, you have fun with the gym rat dudes. That's not my
Exactly.
demo.
Go for it.
I kill it in like the earthy hippie chick community. I'm doing numbers there. I I hooked up with this girl who like her form of air conditioning was she had like this wooden block that was different sizes the way you would place it in the window. So the taller it was, the more air was flowing into the room. I'm like, yeah, she's not asking for a lot of money. That's a cheap
No.
date
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there. Yeah.
She has a homemade air conditioning unit.
Yeah.
A homemade air conditioning
Did it
unit.
work?
You're not gonna take her to
Oh yeah.
Carbone.
Well, because it's like because if the block's sideways, the windows only open a bit, so only a little bit of air is coming in. If you put it like upright, it's like
What
a
if it's
yoga
just like a
block.
fucking 110 degrees outside?
Well, it was wintertime, so
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
like
I was gonna
that's the whole
Probably doesn't
system.
work that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is that where you're just like, you got the whole trick to being cheap is like, you got to find a chick that like isn't going to be disgusted by that.
Yeah.
But
Who's, like,
also
on board.
I've had girls that's like, cause I didn't like, I've always never been like, oh, I'm going to show how much money I have. That's just never been my game. Cause I'm also just not like that. And I feel like I don't act that much different around girls than I just do around everybody else. You know what I mean? And I've had like girls say where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not into like fancy stuff and they'll say like, yeah, like I told my friends even, I was like, this guy's really cheap, but I like him.
Yeah.
But like, he's super cheap. And I was like, I'm actually not cheap. I wasn't lying. I don't like, but she was like, well, I don't know. It just seems like the type. And I was like, didn't even realize it, but it's like, I guess it does come across like on the first date where I just like keep slipping in how much I don't like fancy things.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I could never go to a fancy restaurant. That's just gross to me. It's like, you're right. That does come across if a guy.
$40 for a bottle of wine. That's fucking nuts.
But I was like talking shit the way that I would with dudes, but like to her.
But also, I think we don't think about that as dudes. Like, that's not something. If we're looking in a partner, we're not looking to be like, is she cheap? We're just like, it's
never.
Just, yeah, we're so.
what does she look
and
like?
we're just saying who we are. I'm like, I could wear blue jeans for the rest of my life. I don't give a fuck. And they're like, oh, he doesn't want to fucking spend money. He doesn't want to look nice. He just want to dress nice.
Totally.
What if we go out to somewhere fancy? It was like, he doesn't like fancy, and that snowball's
That's how they're
going.
still evaluating him. But you could, I guess, say the other way where the girl's like, yeah, and you were telling everyone, like, you kept mentioning how, like, this, and you go, that says more about you that, like, I knew I could still smash you and I didn't even have to put even the slightest bit of game.
Yo, that's fucking ruthless.
You go, yeah, I didn't even feel the need to try to suit myself up.
Yeah.
doesn't care about value, just the price tag, I'd say I'm 100% guilty of that.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah.
the discount, like the marketing things where you go, this was $10 down to $2 versus like this is was always $2. Like they could be the exact same thing, but you'll fish me in with that 100%.
Yeah.
Free dates only. That's Shay's
I
thing.
love free dates. Yeah. I'll take you on a free date any day. And also, you can make a free date sentimental. I took a girl.
So you do that kind of stuff?
One time I was like, I didn't even plan this, but I told.
What
a
does
girl-
a free date look like? How do you?
Like one girl was like,
Walk us through
a
the
walk?
shader.
It is a walk. That's
is
the
a
only
walk.
thing it could be. Is just a
well,
walk.
I was like, I need to go Christmas shopping.
That's so funny picking her up. You meet her at her house. She goes, where we're going? We're just kind of going to walk around.
Yeah, we're just gonna walk around. But I was like, I
Walk
gotta
from
go.
your house to my house.
I was like, I gotta go Christmas shopping. Do you want to come Christmas shopping with me? So I had to get shit for not her, but for other people.
Yo, you turn your chores into a
I
date?
did, and then I told my
Dude, you sound like I watched this female dating strategy podcast, and they would not like you because it sounds like all the dates from hell that they talk about. Is
But
shit
I
like
told
this.
my sister about this. And I
But
was-
you were having fun. So she
we
had
were
fun.
having a great
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We're hanging out, but also I told my sister about this. She was like, "That's such a stupid move," and I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Because this girl's gonna be obsessed with you because it shows like, oh, you care about your family. You're taking on a sentimental thing. You're talking
Definitely.
about your family.
Yeah, there's
And-
a lot of fun like things to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, and it's like, and then I'm telling, I have nieces and all this stuff, and I was like, I just needed to get this. I was like, I forgot I was gonna take this girl on a date, and I needed to get Christmas shopping done. So I was like, we're gonna mix them up.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just fucking.
She just became another errand.
yeah,
Combining errands is great.
exactly. We did go out for drinks though, but we did go like 1 for 1, and that was her. She was like, I'll pay for the next round. I was like, get it.
Sure, yeah. Won't pay for parking. I feel like I'm in all these categories, but I feel like I'm not cheap.
You are cheap.
Am I cheap or do I like a deal?
I also support not paying for parking because
Yeah.
you get away with it so many times that I feel like it evens.
Danny,
I know. We had our scam.
We literally had an office in downtown Toronto, and we had 5 different spots around the city that we park at. We
We
had
got
the
banned
church.
from a church. We were like had fake license plates and shit.
we
I
printed
love
out
it.
fake parking permits for the church at one point.
I forgot about that. That
We
was
had parking
good.
permits for the church, and then there was like the lot that was closed down. We had to for a bit, and then we had the company that you could park in their visitor parking as long as you moved it at lunch. We legitimately did that. So how if you
Lot of
aren't
gross.
cheap, then doesn't that make you cheap as well? Then
Who said I'm not cheap?
okay, so we're both cheap then. Won't pay for parking. Wants to share meals. That one I don't like.
The share meals.
No, I don't like. Yeah, just like or it's too obvious when you're like with a bunch of people and you go to a place and and you're like the guy's like, oh, you know what, I'm not hungry, and you're like, you could tell they just don't want to pay for this spot,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and you're just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna eat if you're not eating, like obviously.
Yeah, no, I'm a big food guy, so I'd never pull shit like that. When I go to like brunch with a girl, I'm like, we're each getting a thing, we'll get a third thing to share, and we're sharing everything. I'm like, we're fucking
Yeah.
I want to eat as much of the menu as possible. So like, I will go in on that.
Eats before he comes is one thing they say.
I don't think I've ever done that.
That is
Yeah.
bold to like show
Yeah.
up to the restaurant. What are you getting? He's like, oh, I ate before.
Yeah.
And then says he'd rather be at home. So that's all the ones for anyways.
But
That's the
rather be
cheap.
at home though is like fuck. It's like
Yeah,
Could
but
be
these
true,
are
yeah.
these are not necessarily cheap things. These are just like again, you have to set the tone for like just dating this person.
Yes.
You can, like it's just like you can't blow your wad all at once, you know?
You definitely don't want to blow the lot.
Yeah.
You don't.
Okay. And
Also-
you're not in a big hurry. You're going to stick around for the
Oh
Patreon.
yeah. Okay. What time is it?
6:10.
If you have to leave too, that's 6 to 6:10.
How long's the Patreon?
Or
About an hour.
I can hold. I can do the full thing, but I can do some of it.
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over to the Patreon. Again, patreon.com/theboyscast. Also, Jay, you can catch him on tour. Want to say the tour dates?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Washington at the end of this month, and then I'm gonna be in I'm in Rhode Island, I'm in Indiana, I'm in California, I'm in Houston, I'm in Dallas, I'm all over America. Got some shows in New York as well. You can get everything at chadarena.com. I'm also Chadarena on all social platforms except for Twitch. I'm Little Dinky News on Twitch.
And catch me in Buffalo, Calgary coming up,
Calgary.
Tampa, and Boston. All right. Peace.
on.